You good? You comfortable?
I'm real comfortable, bro. The hospitality here, just through the roof.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look.
Yeah,
It's just amazing.
this is what's bothering me right here, but I think we'll be all right.
It's all good.
We'll be all right.
You know,
dude, we're in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Chattanooga. It's like,
look at this behind us.
I know. Look, it's not photoshopped.
No, that is definitely not Photoshopped. Definitely not. Aidan, what's going on, man?
Dude, I just had my first meal of the day, second meal of the day, and it's, what time is it? 10 o'clock.
We are 10:30
10:30 p.m. And this is, I'm gonna say it's my first meal of the day. I had a bagel this morning with some Nutella on it.
Yeah, well, okay, so for everyone listening, we're in Chattanooga, Tennessee for Riverside 6.
Yeah.
And we came down, Corey and I came down from New Hampshire 2 days ago now. And it was like a 24-hour haul. But you just came down from the Fredericksburg, Virginia area. Like
Yeah,
what,
Locust Grove.
8 hours or so?
Yeah, 8 hours.
Yeah.
Probably 8.5.
So basically what you're getting at is you had an everything bagel this morning with Nutella before the 8-hour drive.
Yes. And then I had a box of Cheez-Its and some granola bars.
Road trip snacks.
And this, yeah, and bro, I'm going down the interstate. I got this trailer with like 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh, it was tough. Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
So I'm not comfortable enough to like sit here driving with my knee with like
trailing your
Cheez-Its,
car.
you know, like, because normally when I'm driving my van, I'm laxing, you know.
Yeah.
So I got my food with me and I'm eating, but I mean, I dug into my Cheez-Its a little bit, but man, I couldn't eat, and I was like,
yeah, you gotta like pay attention on the road and stuff.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm sure as hell not stopping, bro. Like, I'm going to Chattanooga.
So you get here on an empty stomach, but
Yeah.
now, so you brought your Miata down.
Yes.
Yep, which is awesome.
Phenomenal, by the way. I'm glad it's here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't really feel real yet until it's off the trailer.
Yeah.
But no, it's already been a fiasco.
So yeah, so you get down here. We'll talk about the Miata, but you get down here. You're a detail freak, which we'll also talk about. So the Miata's detailed. It's super
I
cute
just
and pretty.
did a whole paint correction
Yeah.
ceramic coat on it.
You
last
bring it down
week.
here in the rain and the terrible weather,
Dude.
You get
yeah.
down here.
The whole weekend, by the way, is beautiful. Just
Yes.
today
Yeah.
is raining.
Yesterday here was like alerts.
Yeah.
Tornado, flood warnings.
I saw that. I was checking the weather today, and it said flood. No, what did it say? River flood warning.
Yes. Yeah, the river's like overflowing here. Everything's underwater. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, so you get here, no food.
Dude, oh
You
my
go straight to
God.
the car wash.
I go straight to the car wash.
Yeah.
That said, screw my stomach. My car's dirty. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. I go on my maps. I look up car wash. And then it shows me one that's like 3 blocks away, right? So I pull up.
Automated.
And it's a detail shop.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a car wash. And they're closed. I was like, man. So then I hit up Benny Wiles. And I said, yo, is there a car wash anywhere? And he sends me the link or the address. And
20-minute drive.
20-minute drive.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
And I pull up. I wash it, you know. Find a few rock chips that I'm not stoked about.
Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised you didn't find more.
Yeah, but dude, the Miata paint, it's the same as like the early Ford paint on the old work vans.
Yeah.
Like how you see the hood like all flaked up.
It just comes
same
right
exact
off.
paint.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I dried off with my leaf blower.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
At the car wash, right? And I'm driving back here, like 20 minutes, and it starts raining again. And I'm like, oh my god, it wasn't pouring. The road wasn't wet, so that was good because that's what messes it up.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
then
for sure.
The mist
Kick
comes
up.
up.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
Yep.
like, man, all right. So I'm booking it. Get into the hotel or to the parking lot, and then you ran up on me, and I'm sitting here with.
So, well, first of all, yeah, I'm heading out. You're pulling in.
Oh my god!
You're pulling in, and it's raining. It's raining.
It's
it's
a heavy drizzle.
And I'm walking up to you, and your first words are, "Yo, I'm so salty," and I'm like, "Yeah, clearly." And you get your backpack blower out, and you're blowing the car down to dry it in order to put your car cover on it.
Yeah.
While it's raining.
Heavy
It's
drizzle.
Like, yeah, well, it was. Yeah.
As some may say, raining.
It was getting wet as you were drying it off.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So then I'm sitting here like, man, it's kind of coming down a little bit harder than I want. And
Yeah.
I look up and I'm like, there's
Valet.
a canopy, at the front of the hotel. So I pull it underneath the canopy.
Fire that
Fire that
gas-powered back blower
hog
up.
back up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
The acoustics under there were quite pungent. Amazing.
Yeah, but I got the car cover on it, and it's a rainproof cover.
Yo, let's talk about that
So
truck,
I'm
the trailer
sorry.
truck that just came in here. So, so we're from where our room is, and you're a floor above us where your room is.
Yeah.
We can see the parking lot where we're parked. Now,
Yeah,
my
like-
BMW 700's out there. Your rig on the trailer is out there.
Yep.
Corey's 190's out there, and our buddy Pete Steppard's Subaru's out there. Now, Pete's Subaru and my 700 are on end caps with the entrance in between our two cars. And while we're out there, while you're backpack blowing your car, we see this big sleeper cab semi-truck with a low bed trailer, like triaxle trailer with a skidder on it.
Wide load on the front.
Yeah, with a skidder on it. A skidder with like a boom, like a bucket boom on it, pulling down the wrong way of the one-way road that the hotel's on.
Which is like a 90-degree turn.
Yeah. First of all, he wasn't going to make
this tight.
Yes, he wasn't going to make the turn at all. But he's headed down the wrong way, and all the traffic stops, and they're freaking out. So he backs up and leaves, and we're like, "Wow, that was crazy." About 15 minutes later, we're up here in the room, and we look outside, and that dude is back, and he's coming in here.
Yeah.
And there is no room for that truck in here.
And there's nobody spotting him.
Dude, we filmed. Corey and I filmed there because we were certain he was going to take out my 700. He was definitely going to take out Pete's Subaru, and he was definitely going to take out my van.
Push Pete's Subaru into the Mercedes.
Into Corey's Mercedes. Yep. And so where the front of his truck was, he had gotten beyond my 700, beyond Pete's Subaru with the cab, right? And he was cutting now. And so now my 700's okay for the moment. And the trailer was headed towards Pete's Subaru, but the front of his cab, the driver's side front bumper, was about ready to take the back of my van out. I've got a trailer hitch on it.
I watched it. I was like, damn, he's getting kind of close.
So you're up a floor above us watching. We're down here watching and filming.
Yeah. So you and Pete are all in three different rooms.
Yeah, but Pete, here's the story about Pete. We're watching, we're filming, we're like, this is insane. Like, we're going to see him hit my van. We're going to see him hit Pete's Subaru, which pushes it into Corey's Mercedes. Then he's going to back up, and he's going to back into my 700. So finally, the guy, like,
triple whammy.
Dude, he keeps getting out. Like, he's not, like, he's probably using his mirrors, but he's getting out, like, every 30 seconds and checking, like, whatever. And we're like, where's he going? Because once you get in here, there's no turning around. There's no turning around, right? So he gets in here and somehow diagonally goes across the parking lot between parked cars with this giant rig.
This is huge. Like, I wish we could just put like a picture on.
I mean, we're talking like 80 feet long.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah. I don't superimpose stuff in these podcasts, but maybe for the YouTube,
you
maybe
have
I will.
to.
Yeah,
it's
so
insane.
He goes diagonally through parked cars, right? And he's heading out back, but we've been out back.
And it's a dead end.
There's nothing out back. There's
It's a fence.
There's nothing for him out back.
Yeah.
So he starts heading out there and gets the trailer like stuck on like the curb island because he can't even make the swing. So now he's backing up and out and back and forth.
Now he's sandwiched.
He's somehow got this thing turned around, right? So as he's trying to turn it around, and he's down near your rig. I call Pete because like I think this was right before he was getting turned around and he's heading back towards Pete's car. And I was like, "Are you watching what's going on?" And he goes, "What?" He wasn't even looking out his window. He's like, "What?" And all I hear, he's like, "What?" He looked out the window.
And did you hear him go out of the room? Because I'm coincidentally, I don't know if he told you, I'm right next to his room, and we're right next to the fire escape. And I hear his door shut, and I hear the fire escape, and I hear, and I was like, "Damn, somebody's running." Yeah. And then I see Pete running out, and I'm like, "Is that Pete?" I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah, he was on a dead run. He's like, because this was, I think it was probably before he made it across the lot. He was basically still by Pete's car, and I was like, "Yo, your car's about ready to get the whole front end tore off of it."
Yeah.
So anyway, so we go running down there. The dude somehow got the rig turned around, miraculously turned around, and we're all out there.
I couldn't have done it, I tell you that.
And he gets out, and he's fired up because his dispatch told him that this place had plenty of truck parking.
He said, bitch them out. They told me they had plenty of truck parking.
Oh, it was hilarious. And so then I'm like freaking out because now he's facing the 700 because we got Pete's and Corey's car moved, and he's parked where they were along the whole edge, taking up like 24 parking spaces. And he's facing the 700. And before I even said anything, he's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna go. I already took photos of that car over there, man. I'm a BMW."
He said, "I was sure I wasn't gonna hit that thing."
That's what he said. I'm like, "Oh, thank God." I said, "You can't buy parts for that car." And he goes, "Oh, I know. I sent that to all my buddies and blah blah blah." And I'm like, this was the event of the night. Watching that guy get shoehorned in here and somehow get that thing turned around.
I'm curious to see how he's gonna leave.
Yeah, he thinks it's gonna be easy peasy, but it's not. It's not. The way he's facing is the wrong way on that one-way street. And he's got to make a 180-degree turn, 90-degree at best, to get out of there.
At best.
And he's going to clear out all of our cars trying to do it, probably. But anyways, that's what's going on tonight.
Tuned.
Yeah, seriously. Man.
All
right, so we're here. The cars are okay for now.
Yeah, for now.
Oh, my gosh.
Mine's still on the rig. Got the car cover on it.
Gonna get it off. We're doing the Governor's Club meet in the morning.
Yep. Stoked.
Yeah, that'll be good. Weather's supposed to be good. Yeah, excited about that. So, your Miata.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Miata. How long have you had that thing?
I've had it a little over 8 years now.
8 years?
Yeah.
So you were 8 when you bought that thing?
9.
Corey's dying out there.
Dude, I didn't even have my license when I got that car.
That's awesome.
I had my permit. And my parents always told me, they were like, hey, like, we'll buy you a car, but if we buy it, we're picking it out. And I was like, nah. I was like, nah. Because at that point, I didn't know what I wanted, but I was like, I know I don't want whatever you pick me out.
Yeah.
So I'm youngin', right? And I'm saving up whatever I can, like shoveling driveways.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
The hustle.
Yeah, and I had like $2,000 saved up, and they gave me one requirement that said if you pick out your car, it said has to have at least a driver airbag and a passenger airbag. That's all they said.
Yeah.
And I come across a Craigslist ad of my car that I own now, and it's 92. It's white, black guts, 5-speed, stupid low miles. It had
one owner car.
2.
Okay.
But it had 59,000 miles on it. Wow. And I was like, oh my God. And the price tag was at a dealership, like some little rinky dinky dealership. And it was like.
So they got it for nothing. They
jacked the price up. They had it posted for like 49 plus processing fees. So it would have been like $5,500.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, nah. Keeps going. I'm like, doesn't have passenger airbag because it's an early model. And the early models don't have an airbag, and the airbag is the airbag dash is ugly.
Yeah.
The 1.6 dash, just my Miata people know. But anyways,
yeah.
So I see all that. I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't add up. And then I'm like, the next day I'm at school and I get a text from my dad, and it's that link. No other contacts. It's that link, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I was like, can't afford it. Doesn't have an airbag. He goes, we'll talk when we get home. I'm like,
oh, sick.
I'm like, yo, I'm in class like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I can't tell anybody. Nobody gets this hype right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Know? So then, whatever. You fast forward. We ended up getting the car.
Yeah.
And I told them from the start, hey, I'm going to put this thing on his face.
Yeah.
You know, I've been around it for so long at that point because I got into this so young. Like, before I even had a license, just taking pictures and everything. So I was like, already surrounded by it. I'm like, I know I want to do that to this car.
Had a vision for the car when you first got it.
So for like a year and a half, it was me and my parents were just button heads super hard because in their eyes it was like, damn, like this is a super nice car. It was everything he wanted, and now he's pulling in the driveway.
He's gonna ruin it. Yeah.
And oh man, there was a huge feud for such a long time, but finally they got over it. I guess got over it. But
yeah.
But
because here we are.
Yeah, I know. And fast forward, I would always keep it in the garage, and they told me, they're like, all right. If you keep it in the garage, because it would drag a little bit because there's a little lip in there.
Yeah.
Like, if you keep it in the garage, you know, you got to raise it up so it doesn't scrape, you know. And they were like, in the driveway, if it still scrapes in the driveway, you got to keep raising it. He was like, we're going to repave the driveway and we don't want scrape marks.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, bruh. Like, I'm not raising my car.
Good man.
Got a storage unit.
Yep.
And they played me. They still never paved the driveway, bro. Never paved it. And now I got a Beamer sitting in the driveway, too, that drags ass. So now they told me, we're waiting until you move out. This is never ending, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I've had the car for a long time, man.
Yep, and, that's awesome. Well, and you've done a lot of really cool little bits to it, man. I'm telling you, the etching on like the door handles and the top hinges and stuff. Yeah, that was such a cool. Because I'm a huge Southern California like classic lowrider fan. Oh, yeah. I haven't built anything like that, but I appreciate all of that crazy minute detail.
Insane.
So that was really cool to add because you sent that out to someone who does that.
Yeah,
stuff, right?
out in Arizona, some old man was like 71 years old.
Yep.
And he's known for doing like real tiny scroll work.
That's amazing.
On like Smith & Wessons and like just a lot of gun work.
Yep.
And yeah, he said he'd be down to do the handles and latches, and then I sent him out like this time last year. I didn't get him back till July, and I felt really bad because at first he told me, he's like, yeah, like 2-3 weeks, month max.
And then
he didn't realize how much work it was because he's so used to doing pieces like that big, you know?
Yeah.
So he ended up drawing up a few sketches, sent them to me. He's like, okay, like which one do you like the best? Picked them all out, and then like I said, I waited 4 months, and he sat there all done by hand with a pneumatic chisel.
That's insane. Yeah, because those are beautiful.
Yeah,
man. They're
super unique for a Miata, at least. It's obviously been done 1,000 times.
Yeah, but it's just that's what I mean. Like that type of a modification on the Miatas.
Yeah, because I was looking at it, and I was like, man, I've always wanted that, and I'm like, Miata door handles and latches are factory chrome.
Yeah.
Like, all I would have to do is get them engraved, and then, because in my head, I don't want to get them re-chromed because I don't want them to be too in your face.
Yeah.
Because the car's not too in your face. Like right now in like broad daylight, what catches your eye is when the sun hits the engraving, it refracts the light
in different directions.
So it's not exactly that the chrome is so in your face. It's more or less the engraving itself. Because I didn't want it to be too like, bam, like, holy crap, look at these dudes' door handles. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
you just did the handles and the hinges for the top?
Yeah. And they're all aluminum, obviously, or else it would rust. But they're chrome factory, and then he just engraved into them. So it's not, like I said $1,000. It's not in your face. You know?
Right. Yeah, that's so cool.
It's subtle enough to the point where if you're looking at the car, you don't really notice it, and then you look at it and you go, oh man,
yeah,
you know.
And I mean, and obviously anyone who knows me, I love that type of detail stuff, like stuff that you notice, and then somebody who's like looking at the car for any period of time, they're like, oh, look at this,
man.
You know.
Especially the old heads, man. That's my favorite. When you get some old heads at the gas station, and they're like, first they're kind of like judging you, you know, because it's not their thing,
right?
They're kind of looking at it like, that thing's actually kind of like put together well, and they kind of like look at it a little bit more, and they're like, damn, this thing's really nice.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
That's the best. I love that.
Absolutely.
Love that.
What else have you done to that car that you kind of was, you know, that you were real methodical about, that you're stoked on?
The interior.
Yep.
The interior. I did that when I was young. I did that when I was 16.
Yep.
For the most part. I was funny. I was actually really sick when I did the interior. I had like the flu or something. Jeez. And I had ordered all this diamond stitch material, and I did my door panels and my center armrest because I didn't have a hardtop at the time.
Yep.
And then later on, when I got a hardtop, I put the same material as the headliner as well. Yeah. And then just a bunch of other little bits, like the cluster has a rev limiter custom gauge face set in there, and I think it's a top Miata stainless surround around it. So it's like super retro.
Yeah.
And the way that the needles sit. So instead of 0 being, you know, like, I guess, what would that be, 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
The 0 is like up here, you know?
Yeah,
so,
it's almost like an old 911.
Yes,
like
so everything's turned,
right?
But it all works.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's awesome.
And that was like one of my first.
Was that an OEM plus thing, or was that something that was like total custom?
No, that was total custom.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't say total custom because you can buy the parts.
Right. But it wasn't like a Japanese thing, right?
No, but so the gauge face. Over the years, I've just done a bunch of little stuff to it that has all added up. So
that's the thing that I like about those types of projects. I have mega car ADD. Like I'm always swapping stuff out. But like cars like the Corvair that I've had for I don't know 6 or 7 years now. I'm that way with that car where it's like every now and then I'm like I'm gonna switch that up. Or I'm gonna switch that up and slowly kind of pick away.
Yeah, because I think one of my favorite things I did in there was I took a OEM steering wheel from a second gen Miata NB, and it's an OEM Nardi. So I still had the airbag in it. Not that I really care about the airbag, but because at this point I'm grown, I don't need an airbag.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But so I had gotten the Nardi wheel, put that in there, so it was still OEM. My blinkers still work, you know, with the return.
Yeah, the cancel.
And I got I don't think it's an OEM. It's a remake of the OEM Nardi gel logo I got like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because that sticker, I think that steering wheel came out of like a 02, so that sticker's all faded. It looked like that. So I put a new logo in there, and just a bunch of little stuff like the brushed HVAC panel. It's like black brushed HVAC panel.
Yeah.
Roll bar. I shouldn't say it's a roll bar. It's a style bar.
The style
Miata
bar?
dudes will come for your neck if you call a style bar a roll bar. Oh my god. That's actually it's a really rare piece that I have. That's discontinued Racing Beat style bar.
Awesome.
And I got that. That was also one of the very first things I got, and I love it. Oh my god, because it's so simple. It's just a little arch with a little harness bar.
Yep.
And it normally comes with like a leather wrap around it and like a little foam piece to like make it thicker.
Yeah.
Make a little bit more accentuation, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I ended up peeling all that off and I painted it, but yeah. As far as the interior, that's.
When'd you put the Meisters on it? The Work Meisters.
Oh man,
was that recent? Or I feel like they've been on the car for a while.
That
right?
was, I think that was 2017.
Yeah.
So, dude, okay,
So first of all, the Meisters fit that car perfectly.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Color match centers, white centers, polished lip.
Yeah, man.
Yep. And just like the fitment, it's not too.
And they're low disc. They got a fat lip.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
So you probably know, good friend of mine from years ago, Mr. John Khalil Breezy. You know what I'm talking about? He was the Miata dude.
The white one?
Nope, it was green for a while, and then he painted it peach. And it was on 14-inch Schmitz.
I'm not
years
hip.
ago.
Maybe if I see it.
Wow.
I don't know.
Okay, so anyone who's listening,
what is this? 2005.
Oh, come on. Now.
I was what? 7.
Yeah, this was 2010 to be fair.
Okay, so I was 12.
Yeah,
that's when I was just getting.
Oh my gosh, you were. Yeah. So anyway, 12. So John Khalil, his name was Breezy.
Thinking about that.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. Well, I'm the elder
He's
here.
He's 50. If you didn't know.
Oh my gosh, just turned 50. So John Breezy had a green Miata, static Miata, 2010, and it was on 14 by 10.5 Schmidt TH lines, front and back, with 185 50s on them, right? So you could
on
put
a 10.
Yeah, 2010 on 10.5s.
No, yeah. Oh shit.
185 50s, maybe 185 55s, but regardless, Japanese tall sidewall. You could fit 2 iPhones side by side inside the barrel between the lip and the tire. You know what I mean? In 2010. And that car was a belly dragger. And no one in the States, at least on the East Coast, had ever seen a Miata like that. Yeah, like slammed, super wide 14s, tons of stretch, total Japanese build.
And because it's a Miata, it looks so much loader. It's
total
like,
spaceship.
It's like the 700.
Yeah, exactly. Total spaceship. And he did all sorts of really cool, weird, quirky things. Like he ended up painting it like peach. And it looked like this real thick, like powder coated, non-metallic, like peach. And he shaved the passenger door handle and had like a Lone Wolf lowlighter plaque in the back window.
Really?
And it said Lone Wolf, and there was no passenger door handle on the car. The whole car was really
actually
cool.
really sick.
It was a really cool.
Well, the door jam shut.
What's hilarious is he did that whole Lone Wolf thing and like had the passenger door handle shaved, and literally within a month he was like dating some girl. It was so funny because he was like,
"Hey,
always,
bitch, hop over the window."
But yeah, I figured you would have known who he was because he was like the Miata legend for a long time.
Actually, no, I know Fable.
Dude,
bruh,
dude. So
that's the OG. When you tell me Miata OG, that's who I think of.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Fable real quick because he came to our Governors Club meet in Chicago last year. Dude, I saw Fable for the first time in 10 years. So here's the thing. Fable was on. He was like a shadow on the Vortex forums too. So he wasn't really too known on the Vortex forums, but he was a shadow. I feel
like he's just a man of mystery.
Yeah. So I don't even know where to start. So in 2011, this was early 2011, is when he built his Miata, that white Miata. Yeah. So what they did was him, and I forgot the name of the shop in Chicago, but it was some friends of his who had a shop, something engineering. Regardless, they built this Miata, and what they did was they built it with no suspension, because when the car touches the ground, what's the point of suspension, right? And if you've got any sort of tire flex, that's your forgiveness, right?
Cushion.
So what they did was they built like a ladder frame under this Miata, right? So they built a whole substructure frame underneath this Miata for rigidity, to be able to they reinforced the whole car to drive on the ground,
to eliminate the frame.
Yes, exactly. Well,
with being able to still open the door once you hit a bump.
Yeah, so they built this whole like undercarriage chassis designed to allow the car to be a sled on the ground, basically. And he posted a video of them backing out of the shop when it was done, and there was like 4 guys pushing it as he's like clutch dropping it in reverse to get it out, and all it was a concrete floor to pavement transition. There was no grade.
I feel like I've seen this,
and they got stuck. Oh yeah, and the internet hated him. They were like yelling at him because he didn't.
Because that's right at the peak of like when that started to become a thing.
Yeah, he built this car to get people charged up. He was like, we're gonna build like this super obnoxious mega low car, and it didn't have like tons of camber or anything. It was just dumped on the ground, tucking 14s. Yeah, he was tucking 14-inch wheels. Like, it was like wild. And so the plan
14s are small.
The thing was the car was the lowest like static Miata ever built, like hands down. Especially this was 10 years ago now.
Yeah, man.
And he was going to drive it to H2O, Ocean City, from Chicago. Right, that's quite a ways.
Yeah.
So
even a stock Miata.
So he's on like these forums. It might have even been on Vortex. He was on one of the forums, and was because that was back when forums were big, and he was like, lowest car in the world, and people were like, lowest Miata in the world. Right. People were like, we hate you, basically. And he's like, I'm going to drive it to Ocean City. They're like, you won't even drive that thing. He goes, fine, I'll drive it to H2O. I'll drive it to H2O from Chicago. And some people are like, oh my gosh, are you serious? And then there were still a few people that went Chicago to Ocean City. You don't even have to drive through New York on that route. If you went through New York, you'd never make it. And he goes, all right, I'll go through New York. So he plans out this map.
I love it.
Alone too, solo ride. Plans out this ride of leaving Chicago, heading straight east, not due south to like head towards Ocean, like southeast. He goes straight east, like
just to
through
prove
New
a
York.
point. I love
to
it.
prove a point. It took him 5 days to get to Ocean City, right? Before he even left Illinois, he hit a bridge expansion joint so hard that it blew his airbags out.
Yep.
Like blew his airbags out, which we can, low static car. You can kind of believe that one, right?
A few times.
So New York, he got into New York, and once he got down near the city, where if anyone who drives to New York City, knows the roads are just horrendous.
Awful.
He hit something so hard, and it must have been a bridge expansion joint. I can't remember what it was, that he blew his windshield out. Like the windshield can't basically, it doesn't shatter, but like cracked to death and broke the seal, right?
And he's sitting
So
here.
in order to drive, he had to kick the windshield out, right? So he drove the rest of the way to Ocean City with goggles on and no windshield.
Dude, I've never
airbags.
heard this story.
Dude, I've done some wild. I mean, Zach DePiero and some of our Northeast buddies call me Static Dad. That's like my I don't claim that. That's just what they call
Static
me.
Pop.
I've got some old Static stories, and I'll get into those stories some other time. But this is when I had my Volkswagen. 2010, I drove my Volkswagen to H2O, like 13, 14 hours, and that car touched the ground all the time. So similar type story. Just
still terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't break my windshield.
Yeah.
So Fable drives from New York City to Ocean City, no windshield, airbags deflated, bought goggles and drove goggles, no windshield, in a car that touches the ground all
on
the
its
time.
ass,
No,
top
belly,
down,
front to back, diff on the ground. They built this diff guard underneath.
Yeah.
Like the thing's just it's a tank.
That's the annoying thing about Miatas. Interrupt you real quick. The diff and the trans. The trans doesn't have a mount. There's no trans mount.
Yeah.
It's a huge beam that connects the diff and the trans.
Yep.
And if you snap that beam,
It's all over.
Your diff's going forward. Your trans. Pain in the ass.
Yep.
But anyways.
Well, and what they did, if I remember correctly, is they raised all that. Like they channeled it up into the unibody of the car and then built that ladder frame under it. So that never touched the ground.
Yeah, good.
But there was like a guard in the back for the diff or something.
Especially through New York. Oh
Dude, so he drives on down Ocean City. Takes him almost a week alone in this car to drive to prove a point to the internet. To the haters. Yeah. Like, I'm going to do this. Like, if they had told him, yeah, but you don't have to go through Albuquerque, he probably would have headed out there first. So, dude, so he gets to Ocean City, right? This is 2000. I'm pretty sure it was 2011. And I was there. Oh my gosh, was it 2010? It was 2011.
He's old, folks.
I was there in my E30.
Old.
Yeah. I was there in my E30 that year. And we met up with him in the convention center parking lot because that was back when you could still park there.
Yeah.
And I'd seen that car and we got talking because I didn't know this story. This is when I learned this story, right? There's just this dude that
no windshield
on a Miata that's like just battle hardened.
Yeah.
This thing looks like it's been to war and it's touching the ground. It's got Illinois plates on it. And I'm like, that drove here, didn't it? And he goes, yeah, let me tell you a story. So Fable is the funniest storyteller in the world. Like if I could find him again, I'm going to Chicago. I would go to Chicago to have him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, and have him tell the story.
Absolutely, dude.
And Corey's nodding his head. Corey got a chance to meet him. And I'll get to the TGC meet real quick. But this whole story is like a sidebar. But he basically told the story and he's like, I got here, I got on the strip, immediately got stopped for having no windshield. And I'm like, well, obviously.
No shit.
He's like, I had goggles on. He's like, but the police made me.
DOT?
Yeah, they made me like pull over or whatever. So he goes to Ace Hardware and buys plexiglass, right? Buys a sheet of plexiglass.
It's all wavy.
No, it was perfect.
No.
He's telling me this story, right? He's telling me the story about how he blew the windshield out and stuff. And as he's talking, I'm like looking at the car and it's got a windshield in it. And I'm like, well, he must have stopped and gotten a windshield somewhere. And so
like,
as he's talking,
this looks good.
Yeah. So he goes, yeah, I went to Ace Hardware and got some clear perspex, get some plexiglass. Yeah. And he goes, I got some shears to cut it with. And he goes, they rented me a heat gun. It's like you could rent tools at Ace Hardware. So he rented a heat gun and he'd out in the parking lot. He'd never done this before. He goes, I figured I could heat form it or whatever. So he worked and got that thing trimmed and cut and then siliconed it in, brought the heat gun back to him. And as he's telling me this, I'm looking at the car and I'm trying to figure out if what I'm looking at is what he's talking about, or if he went and got a windshield.
Then, yeah.
It was so good.
Wow.
Like this dude like put a windshield in his car in Ocean City. See, I feel like all these kids that go to Ocean City now don't know anything about Fable, and like I've driven some real low cars to Ocean City and back. Fable is the strip king.
Ocean City roads aren't horrible, but the crowns on some of those lanes, dude,
for sure.
Oh my
the bus
God.
lanes for sure.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, so Fable, he drove it back to Chicago. He drove it back.
Yeah, that's another thing. You get the excitement to come back down, but then you're like, damn, I got to go back.
So to conclude that story, man, we had gotten to know each other that H2O, and we had kind of kept in contact, and I can't remember on what platform. It wasn't Facebook. It might have just been through like Vortex or something for a couple of years. Then Forms died.
I would love to meet him.
Dude, so on our Governor's Club cross-country trip in 2019, we drove my E23 to LA, brought the Century home, did all the Governor's Club pop-up meets. We did one in Chicago, and we'd been promoting for it for a couple weeks, and we had a bunch of friends come out. Camille came out. I don't know if you remember Camille. He had a wide-body E46 and an E12 BMW. He came to Ocean City a lot. But anyway, Camille came out and a few other friends, and there was a dude with Camille that I kind of recognized but wasn't sure. He walked up to me and he shook my hand, and the second he spoke to me, I was like, no
instant
way.
flashback. You're like,
dude, because he disappeared from the scene.
Yeah, dude. He's literally a legend.
Exactly. And here we are in Chicago 10 years later, and he comes out to our meet.
No expectation of this happening.
And he was like, dude, it's so good to see you. And I was like, I can't even believe I'm standing here with you right now. Like, this is nuts. So anyway, that's the Fable story. And I hope one day I can have him on the podcast.
One more. I heard, local legend, I always heard that he would go to a show, he'd bring a bag of pennies with him and be like, hey, he would like walk up to random people that are like looking at the car, hey, like, take this penny. If you can slide this penny from this side of the car through the other side, I'll give you $100. Nobody could do it. Nobody.
Yeah, that sounds like.
I love that story.
That sounds like a story Fable would tell.
I love that.
I believe
story.
it. That that was it. It was the lowest Miata ever built.
Dude.
That was just the way it was.
And that's just facts.
So going back to your Miata though, that thing isn't exactly skyjacked.
Skyjacked, he says.
That thing's on the floor too.
No, it's pretty low.
Yeah.
When I was on my old wheels, they were 15 by 8. And I ran a 165/45.
Yep.
And now that I'm on a 9, the next size up.
165/50? Or are you up to a 195?
No, I'm at a 195/45. Yeah, that's the next size up, and it sucks. I hate that tire, actually. I wish they made like either like a 195/40 or like a 185/40.
Yeah, and you know what the next step, and I don't know, 15s they might. So back in my day, all the Volkswagens I had, I was running 13.
Dinosaurs walking around.
Oh, come on. Not that bad. I wanted a Tyrannosaurus Rex once.
Yeah, man. Found one in a barn.
Yeah. Yeah, that was earlier. That was
always
off
wanted
air.
one of those Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, easy now. 13s, I was always running 175/50s on 13s. But I don't know if they make that in a 15 or not. Because that's a good size.
I'm pretty sure they don't, but
it's a good size.
Oh, so the whole reason I brought that up, when I was running that old tire size with that old wheel, I sat about an 1/8 inch lower than I do now.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a lot, but
it's a lot.
I'm sure you know, if you drive that low for so long and you raise up an 1/8 inch,
you don't hit anything.
You don't try. You've been, for the past however many miles you've been driving like that, you're beating everything up, you know?
Yep.
So now, dude.
Cruiser.
That thing's nice.
It's a cruiser.
Dude,
I bet
nice.
you can enjoy it more.
Yeah, whenever in the future, whenever I have the means and the money to do so, whenever I do the undercarriage restoration, I plan on, if I have enough knowledge by then, I'll do it myself, but I plan on hiring somebody to pretty much restructure the 2 frame rails up, because my plan is I want to be able to do a paint correction on my frame.
Yep.
So I want a full like old Mark 1 Volkswagen paint underneath.
Right.
Like when they do restorations like that, I want that on my Miata. So I want to be able to kick them the frame.
Well, that's essentially body dropping the car.
Yeah,
raising.
I don't really want to go any lower. I just want to make it to where, like, if I'm hitting something, I'm hitting the subframe or maybe the exhaust. Like, I don't want to be hitting the frame if I'm doing all that work. I don't mind having a couple scrapes on the subframe, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So I would love to do that, but yeah, dude. I mean, even now, it doesn't drag like I mean, it dragged. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But just cruising compared to what it was, dude, this thing is so nice.
That's the way my Fox was after a while. It self-clearanced after a while, and I was like, oh, I can actually cruise on flat ground now without like scraping and everything.
What's funny is my BMW wagon,
E39 Touring.
46.
Oh, E46 Touring. 46. That's right.
Dude, that thing drags. That's the lowest car I own.
Yeah.
That thing drags everywhere, but it doesn't feel like it, man.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I don't know if you ever pulled a carpet out of a newer Beamer. New BMW carpet is like this thick.
Oh, yeah.
So, dude, like
you can't hear anything.
Yeah. And it's just, everything's getting absorbed, and it's like, the way that thing rides is so comfy. So it's like, I'll hit some gnarly shit, or I'll just drag something crazy, or I'll hit a deer and drag it for 15 miles.
Yeah, I saw that
with
story.
2 hooves stuck in my control arm.
Yeah, I saw that story.
And it doesn't kill you because it just like everything absorbs. And oh my god, dude, it's so nice.
Yeah,
because Miatas, dude, I mean they're like tin cans.
Dude, my Corvair. Corey's been in the Corvair when we've hit in that thing. That no interior. Yeah, he's plugging his ears. Yeah, like no interior. It's dude, you're in. That
was like the 700 when you took me for a ride on the strip. It would just like every now and then it would just hit the rocker. It's like,
oh yeah.
It's not just I don't know how to explain it. It's like
it's a resonator inside the cabin of the car.
Can. It's like I feel like the best explanation is if you were driving and you had an angle grinder and you took it out and went on the pavement and just like hit it on the ground. Yeah. It's like that kind of noise. It's so sharp.
We brought the 700 over from Mason's house today, which is like a 15-minute drive, and Corey followed me in the van. And I was skating the 700. I mean, I was like rockers on the floor.
Love it.
And there were a couple real bad intersections we went through. And I bashed my front beam, like the grub screw in the front beam, gone. Like just broke that thing right off. Like
don't need it.
So anyway, yeah, we're cut from the same cloth for sure. Yeah. I don't know how many people I talked to today and yesterday about having you on the podcast and like, yo, you two dudes are the same dude. Just 2 different generations.
2? This man old. 2 generations.
Yo,
I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure 2 generations ago there wasn't Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh my good lord! Man. I knew it was coming.
I've been ripping on John,
dude. It's all good. I can take it.
It's all.
I can take it. I'm seasoned, right? I can get it.
Seasoned.
I go easy on you
because I
go easy on you. Might hurt your feelings a little bit.
Ouch. Out. He's holding it in. He's waiting until I hit 30 to just lay into me.
Yeah, I'll be too old by then.
Yeah,
I'll be in the ground.
He's gonna have a cane.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. When you called me about coming down here, we were talking about possibly shoehorning your Miata with my 700 in my single car 24-foot trailer.
I still wish we did it.
Which they would fit. Like, lengthwise, they would fit. But I just had too much on before the show to prep my trailer to be able to safely anchor 2 cars. But anyway.
That would have been a sight to see.
It would have been pretty funny. And, I mean, both those cars are small enough and light enough. My rig would handle it.
I meant to ask you, how did it do?
It did awesome. Yeah. Oh, it did awesome. Corey and I drove down here 75, I'd say probably even a little more. I bet 78 was our average mile per hour hauling a 24-foot trailer with my express van. I mean, it just killed it.
Jeez.
Like, I mean, we were burning fuel, but
I was about to say, how many times did you have to stop?
It cost me, I haven't tallied up the receipts yet, but I think it was a little over $500 in fuel just to get down here.
That's actually not bad.
Well, $1,000 in fuel just to go to and from. I'm hoping people buy some TGC gear this weekend.
Yeah,
that was tough.
And if you're not here, buy it on the store afterwards.
Yo, thanks for the plug.
Yes, sir. Looking out for my man.
Yeah, I need it. But yeah, no, it did awesome. It towed great. I mean, I did a trans cooler on it because I knew that was going to be key.
Saw that.
Did new diff fluid and all that. It's a high mileage van.
All while filming and editing and uploading a video almost every single day.
Oh my gosh,
meant to give you props to that. That's crazy, dude.
Dude.
Because he's calling me stressed out, man.
I'm stressed.
Like, bro, I got so much stuff to do, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll see on his Instagram, new video. I'm like, he's got time for that?
No, I don't. That's why I'm stressed. Because I'm editing last night. I mean, I just put a new video up this morning or last night. I'm in Mason's shop, Corey, myself, and Mason. It was basically the 3 of us at this point till like 1 a.m. and I'm editing this YouTube video, and I'm in a chair in the shop, and I'm falling asleep on my laptop. I'm exhausted. And as we speak, I've got another one all edited, ready to go up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, I've just been...
Love it.
I mean, the thing
can't
is,
stop it.
If you're going to do it, why not do it right? Yeah, and just do it 100%, you know? So,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm super stressed. I'm super burnt out. But what else am I gonna do, dude? I don't have other mouths to feed. Let's go.
True.
Let's grind. Because someday I might have other mouths to feed, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm glad I set myself up when I was younger, and just did it. You know,
because dude, you're literally living your youth so far into life.
I know, dude.
Sick,
dude. I don't want to stop. Dude. That's why, dude. 2018, man. So 2018. I've said this before. I visited 13 countries in 2018 and like somehow
love it.
Kept it together. Like, you know, like being self-employed, nothing moves when I leave.
You're still here.
And so, dude, it's tough to suffer from wanderlust and be self-employed.
Good feeling that Saturday on the show, you're going to be selling some damn merch.
Dude,
I think he's going to be selling out. Those new key tags are hot.
Dude, I appreciate that, man.
I'm buying one. Yeah. 2, 3, maybe. I don't know.
I've got 2 or 3 different styles, you know, so you don't have to buy the same one.
There we go.
I'll get you one, man.
What did you end up doing? Black rivet or gold rivet?
I did gold rivet.
Okay, all of them?
Were you for the gold or for the black?
Gold.
Okay, I did.
I like the gold because you have the gold face, the black
engraving
thing. The black leather.
Loop, the leather loop, yep.
And then that gold is kind of like a separation.
A breakup.
Of
exactly.
If you have a black, it kind of blends in.
Yep.
But
yeah, so what I did was...
I was curious because you said you might do like half and half.
I did 50, I think. I did 50 of them, and I did them all in gold, but I have one with the black rivet for the samples. So there's only one with a black rivet. So I haven't decided how I'm going to do that.
People about to be mad as shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's black? Buy it, they get back to the car. Damn.
Dude, the poll. I put out an Instagram poll to see... Because I like them both. I'm like, all right, what do you guys think? And I was telling Corey, I'm like, I'm actually kind of frustrated. They didn't help at all. Because it came back like 52-48. And I was like...
Which one was 52?
Gold. So I went gold.
People have spoken.
I'm like, they did speak. So I went for it. But I figured it was going to be like a 70-30 split. And it's like, even if it was 70-30 for black, I would have gone black. I'm like, the people have spoken, you know?
People have spoken because that's who's buying it.
But dude, so your car is going to be set up with ours.
Dude.
So
I can't believe that.
Miata's here. The Riverside TGC booth are kind of like assimilated into one.
Yeah, I have no idea how this works.
Dude, well, you're just parking with us, dude. I mean, like, Riverside TGC, we're just sending it. I don't even know.
Stoked, dude.
Dude, it's going to be a good
I've never had my car at a real show before.
Well, that's the one to bring.
Dude, that's what I'm saying,
like, you've got a few in your little fleet, and that's the one to bring.
That's my baby, man.
Including the Sienna. Times 2 now.
Rest in peace.
Let's talk about the Sienna.
Bro.
All right, dude.
Okay.
So Toyota Sienna minivan.
All right, so at this point, I've had the Miata for like
8 years.
Nah, I'm rewinding.
Oh, rewinding. We're going back
I've had the Miata
now.
for like maybe a year, almost, right?
All right.
And we were starting to have a pretty mild winter. It's probably like...
Yeah, and you're in Fredericksburg. Well, Locust Grove.
Yeah.
So you're in Virginia.
Like Central Virginia, for those that don't know.
Mild compared to our winters.
He thinks that's south, but it's...
Oh, you're in the south.
Middle.
Yeah.
Dude, I came down here. I was like, damn, this is south, bro. But anyways.
This is the first time? Oh, yeah, you've been to Chattanooga.
I've been to Chattanooga.
Anyway,
once.
yeah.
So it's like November at this point or something like that. I don't remember. And I was like, damn. I'm looking at my car. And I'm like, that's not going to work in the snow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I need something to drive. And I was like, man, I remember when I was a kid, my buddy Jack, his mom had the Sienna. And we would ride in the back of that thing, and this had like vents in the ceiling with the, for the AC and everything. I was like, damn, I want one of those. And I was like, I know Toyotas are reliable. I didn't know anything about Siennas at that point.
Right.
Now I'm a Sienna connoisseur.
Yeah, you are. That's why we're talking about it.
Yeah. So, and
so you scoop one for dirt cheap.
So my neighbor that I'm borrowing the Land Cruiser from.
Yep.
He had just coincidentally bought a new van. Which, fast forward to now, they regret they missed the Sienna. But anyways,
yeah,
they got a new van. Yeah, he had the Sienna. He's a second owner, and then I think the first owner was his wife's parents.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like all in the family,
right?
And it had like 203,000 miles on it. And he was like, "Look," he's like, "Give me $800 for it." And he was like, "Pay me when you can," because at this point I had a job I was a busboy.
Yep.
And I wasn't making money, I was like, what,
right,
16, I think, 16. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And what does he do? He goes, I don't have any room in my driveway, so I'm parking it at your house. Yeah. My dad takes the initiative to go to the DMV and registers it and insures it for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the money for this thing yet. So I'm every single day coming home looking at this van in my driveway with plates on it going, damn, I can't even drive this thing, dude.
Yep.
And then finally, dude, I saved up that money.
Yep.
Gave him that $800, and I found like $4 and change inside. So hey, Save some money there.
$796.
$796. So anyways, and I've had that van for 5 years. I bought it. I ended up having the final amount of money on Christmas Eve. So I bought it on Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah, heck yeah.
And yeah, so I've had it for a little over 5 years.
Almost 100,000 miles on it. Let's talk about that. so it's got a 100,000 mile Toyota.
So I have a 100,000 mile club Toyota sticker, and then on top of that, I have a 200,000 miles.
Here we go.
Club sticker.
Here we
and
go.
When I bought those, I bought the 300 sticker, and I have it sitting in my glove box.
Yep, just waiting for that
I've
OD.
been driving that Mammoth Jammer, okay? And when COVID hit, 4 months I wasn't working, so I didn't have a commute.
Right.
Bro, if I had that commute for that
would have been it.
I would have been that.
So let's talk about it. You're right there. So, bro, what's on the clock right now?
Oh my god.
298.
Oh my god. I don't even want to talk about it, bro. Dude,
so close to the finish line.
Rewind. December, okay? I'm whipping and I'm starting to have issues. This thing starts misfiring. I'm like, man.
Oh, when it rains, it pours, dude.
Bro.
It saw the clock coming.
Bro, it was at 293.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, no. And it's misfiring. I'm like, man, what the hell? And I had like this crazy belt squeak, which it does that. But anyways, I had popped the hood because I'm like, this just doesn't sound right. And I popped the hood, and my front cat is glowing red.
Oh,
I
boy.
mean glowing red. Like, I don't know how it didn't melt. So I'm like, oh, man, my cat's clogged, right? So I bought an OEM cat, put the cat on, right? Still glowing red. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Shit. You know? So then I'm like, okay, well, in my head, I'm like, because by the way, the check engine codes were all over the place.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I'm like, this does no good for me to do any diagnostic. Oh, man.
I know.
That's not Photoshop.
Yes, as it moves.
That's real. Anyways, so I'm like, damn. So the next thing I go, I'm like, okay, well, it's glowing red. Chances are it's stuck injectors. So I'm like, whatever. Right. So I get injectors. Not injectors, still glowing red, still misfire.
Oh
I'm
my
like, man,
gosh.
what the fuck? It's like one thing left, so I do the coil packs. Fixes it, right? That's $1,000.
Yeah.
For all of those things I just listed, because I'm an asshole and I have to replace everything. So if I'm doing one injector, I'm doing 6. If I'm doing one coil pack, I'm doing 6.
Yep.
You know how it goes.
Yep.
So, I'm $1,000 in and it's fixed.
Yep.
So this is like
Let's go.
Right on New Year's, right?
Start clocking those miles back up.
Bro, oh my God. So I'm like, okay, I'm right at that point I'm at 293. And also, when I was doing all that, I had to take the upper plenum of the intake manifold off, and I was looking down in the intake valves. They looked cherry,
good,
dude.
yeah.
I'm like, yes! I'm like sick.
We're hitting that 300, baby.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I have no worries now. I was like, now I've been through the van. Like, and a few months prior, I had put new brakes and axles and top hats.
Better order that 400K sticker while you're at it.
I was dead ass going to, son. So anyways, I'm at 293. She's running good. Okay?
500 in my sights. Let's go.
Bro, in my sights, I can taste it.
Half a mil. Give it to me.
Dude, so I'm like, okay, I need to plan some trips now that I know this thing's solid, right?
Let's hit the road.
Dude, so February, Jimmy Oaks hits me up. Hey, I got this barn-fied S14.
Come up and detail it.
Yeah, come up and detail
we got to
it.
put that side plug in. Like, you're a detail freak. Like, you do on your YouTube, you're doing a lot of detail videos.
It's a blessing and a curse, as you saw earlier.
Dude,
I can't even watch my car get wet.
Why else do you think I buy and build rusty cars, dude?
Yeah, you got nothing
because
to worry about.
I'm OCD about it. You know, my Century keeps me up at night.
Yeah, dude.
20-foot long black car. So yeah, we are cut from the same cloth.
Literally.
I am a detail nerd. That's why my van's white.
But he just can't keep up with it.
And all my other cars are rusty. Because I just got to clean the windows and the wheels.
Yeah,
That's
literally.
it.
Literally.
So
cut to him buffing his paint 3 days ago on the 700.
On the 700. You know how much paint's left on that?
I don't
Not that
even
much.
know.
Yeah. Took me 10 minutes to detail that whole car.
So
anyway, so you're in Maryland. Jimmy's in Connecticut.
No, I'm in Virginia.
Yeah,
He's in Connecticut.
Yeah. What did I say? Maryland?
Yes.
Yeah, you're in Virginia.
He's getting old, folks.
I know.
So anyways.
Dementia.
So he's like, all right, yo, like, come up. It's going to get delivered, like, Monday. And I'm like, okay, I can come, like, Thursday through Sunday, like exactly what I'm doing for this trip.
Right.
So, dude, I make the whole haul up to Connecticut, which was like 7 hours.
You brought the van.
Brought the van, all my stuff in it. Cherry, dude.
Yep.
Not to mention, I beat the shit out of it.
Hey, listen, I was trying to get you to take the other 3-hour drive on up to my place to do this, and you would have been that much closer. Yep. It would have been that much closer.
But anyways, so yeah, and while I'm up there, I beat the shit out of it because it snowed.
That's right.
Which is hilarious because that week prior when when we were arranging that trip.
It snowed down where you were.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, imagine if it just snowed when I was up there. Because I don't know if everybody knows this, but I beat the crap out of my van when it snows.
Snow drifting,
dude. Like, there's no fear. Like, just if there's a tree, there's a tree. We're going.
We laugh about you guys because when it snows in Virginia, we know that everybody's going out to do donuts. Like for us, it's like. We've been doing that since we were 8 in our parents' cars. We're like, I don't know if we really want to go out because we're going to get stuck. We're going to have to shovel. I don't know. I know it's a treat for you guys. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So when I'm up in Connecticut, it snows. And it's like, I can't explain. This was the perfect snow, dude.
Oh, yeah. It packs
because that van, it has a lot of people ask me this. It has a kick e-brake.
Right.
But it's not like the type where you have to like kick it and then pull the release. Right. It's you kick it harder and it releases, you know? So I'm beating that shit out of this e-brake, right? So with that van, if I'm drifting in the snow, it has to be either downhill or flat because if it's uphill, I lose speed quick.
Obviously, you're dragging your rear wheels.
Dude, this snow.
Oh, yeah.
I was going uphill, flat, downhill. I don't know what it was. I had enough traction in the front to keep her going.
Oh, yeah.
The rear, man, I was getting silly. But anyway, so I'm up north. I'm racking these miles up, man. I'm at like 296.
Yep. Yeah, the faster those wheels are spinning, man, that OD's
exactly
climbing.
What I told Jimmy, bro. I had the clock at like 100. I'm like, man, this is just free mileage, man. Yeah,
exactly. You know? Triple the mileage.
This poor van, dude. So, anyways, also disclaimer: I treat this thing very well when it comes to maintenance.
I know, dude. Work hard, play hard.
I shouldn't even show you my oil change list. Every single 3,000 miles, I have the date. I have the this, the that. But anyways. So then that weekend's over. I drive it through the Bronx, drive it through Harlem.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Which was phenomenal. Dream come true.
Yeah.
Anyways, drive all the way home. And then like 3 days after I'm home, I go out to go do errands or something. And I notice, I'm like, damn, why is this thing like slow? I'm like, this thing's kind of like hesitating. And I like go to lay in it. And it's just all induction noise and no go. And I'm like, uh-oh. Like, what is this?
It's the timing belt.
Yeah, and not to mention my O2 sensors hanging out, my downstream O2. Yeah. So at first thought, I'm like, oh, it's just the O2. It's just not reading right? So the two studs that hold the sensor in were still like kind of there. So I plopped it back in there just to see like if it would read right, if it would fix it, and it didn't.
Right.
I was like, uh-oh. So I'm driving this thing, man, and I'm like, whatever. I mean, when I say hesitating, I mean it's like I would take off from a light and I'd have to be in the right lane or also be pissing people off in the left lane. But I was actually pissing people off in the right lane.
Yeah.
People thought I was just like on my phone or just like...
or 100 years old.
Yeah, dude. It was bad. Once I was up to speed, it was all right. But so anyways, in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I'm at 297, whatever. And I'm like, I'm just going to go to 300. I'm going to slap that freaking sticker on there. I was like, and I'm gonna get another van because I'm like, I can't justify putting more money in
right.
I had just put $1,000 into it. Plus, I don't have so much time to be doing that. But anyways, I'm driving home from work, bro.
Here it comes.
I'm driving home from work, bro. I'm literally texting my buddy up in Canada. Shouts Chromatic Auto Detailing. Go follow him. Anyways, I'm texting him and I'm like, bro, my alternator light just came on. And I was like, it's all good, though. That happens sometimes, and it goes away.
It doesn't go away. Of course it doesn't.
It definitely didn't.
Lights just don't go back off.
No, that one does. I swear to God, it used to come on all the time. And I was like, it's good. It's a Toyota, and I pat the dash every time, so it's good, you know? Anyway, so I'm driving home, and it light comes on. I was like, oh, shit. Pop the hood. Belt's still there, because I've had an issue where it would, like, pop off. I'm like, okay, belt's still there.
Yeah, you gotta keep that tight.
Yeah, I know, dude. So I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, I hope I make it home because I'm like 30 minutes from home. Light turns off. I'm like, I texted him. I said, yo, we're good. Light just turned off, bro. We're hitting 300. 15 minutes later, light's back on. I'm like, uh-oh. Didn't turn back off. I'm like, damn, man. So then I get back home. I pop the hood with it still running. I'm like, okay. Belt's still there. And then while I was under there, I was like, I should probably check out this hesitation issue. It's like, haven't even tried to diagnose anything, right?
Yeah.
Sitting under here, I got my hand on the throttle cable, revving it a little bit, she purring, All of a sudden, it starts backfiring through the intake. And I'm like,
not good.
I'm like, man, I think this thing jumped a tooth or two on timing, even though I had done all the timing and everything like last time I came to Chattanooga because I snapped the timing.
Yeah, that's right.
It was only 3-4 years ago.
Yep.
Anyways, and I'm like, man, you know what really sucks about this? It really sank in. I was like, I can't just keep driving it without putting an alternator in it.
Right.
And I'm like, what's the point of me spending $150 on an alternator? The annoying labor of putting it in because all those bolts are rusty under that hood.
Oh, for sure.
Because I don't know if you remember my D-Max hood. The hood vents I had in that thing.
Oh, yeah.
All that rain.
Yeah.
All of them bolts crusty.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm like, it doesn't make sense to do all that to hit 300 with it still running like shit to put the sticker on it and then take it to the junkyard because I'm like, I can't even show off the sticker, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cannot explain.
The logic is sound. I mean, I get it.
Dude, that's my baby, bro.
I know.
I've taken that thing everywhere, bro.
Yep.
Well, probably not everywhere, but a lot of places, man.
Yep.
And all the stupid videos we've made of that thing.
Oh.
Super Street reposted a video of that van, bro. There's a video of me behind a Walmart ghost riding it, and I hop out the driver's seat. I run in front of the van while this thing's charging at me. I jump on the hood, over the windshield, over the roof, jump off the back, get back in the car. It's this whole thing with West Coast Pop Lock playing behind it. And Super Street reposts this thing. This video's got like 250,000 views.
Yeah.
My van.
Yep.
With hood vents and stickers all over it.
Famous van.
Absolute piece of shit, but I love it. And
yeah, so close.
I think I'm just so hurt because it didn't hit 300. I think if it would have hit 300, I would have been like, okay, lay to rest, you know?
Right.
Which, I mean, it kind of did. It's at 297, 350. I'm like, man. But anyway, so I bought another one.
Same color.
Exact same year, exact same color.
But an XLE, right?
It's an XLE.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, she got heated leather power seats.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. She got dual power doors, sunroof, a digital compass.
Yeah, I saw that.
Didn't even know they had that.
Yeah.
Auto dimming rear view mirror.
Yep. Awesome.
Why?
What year is it?
01.
01. Okay,
so that's one Toyota Sienna, best car, baby.
Yeah, best car. Yeah. Is that your Instagram page or someone else? Oh, it is you? Dude, I was hoping there was some other nut out there that started that Instagram and you were just resharing their stuff.
Bro, what's funny is my buddy Parker posted a picture of me washing it and said, Aiden got a new bang bus. Tagged my Instagram and the Sienna page.
Yeah.
I went on my Sienna page, reposted it, and said congratulations to myself. I'm an asshole, bro. And people still don't get that it's me. Congratulations. It's literally me saying congratulations to myself, bro.
That's perfect.
I'm going to give John a hernia.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Oh, that's amazing.
Dude, so yeah, I don't, and I have like... Congratulations. Dude, I'm at work reposting this and I'm laughing at myself and then I get a text from Parker and he goes, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
But I have like this unspoken rule with that page to where if congratulations. Bro, I've never seen him die like this, bro.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. That's because I can see you with your phone being like, congratulations, bro.
To my own self, bro. It's just funny because the people that know.
That's good.
Swipe up and they go, you're fucking stupid because I'm congratulating myself.
That's so funny.
But anyway, so
it's so funny to me because I'm learning just now that is your page.
Yeah, literally, that's my page, bro.
I thought it was because the name of the page. I'm literally crying. The name of the page sounds like it's someone from like South Korea started it. You know what I mean? Like
because the bad grammar.
It's just the bad grammar, and I don't mean South Korea.
Best car.
Yeah, particularly. Just like it just sounds like someone like it sounds like Japanese translated lingo.
Yeah, literally.
2001 Toyota Sienna, best car.
Yeah, best car. Ooh, best car, yeah. So, but I have this unspoken rule to where anything that gets commented on that page, I only can respond with yes or no.
Really? Yeah.
So people will comment, and they like people have like started to catch on, and they'll say,
they'll ask questions that aren't yes or no answers, and you just answer yes or no.
Yeah, that too. But I can't. Somebody had asked something. I can't remember it word for word, but
that's so funny.
It was something along the lines of like trying to discredit the van, saying like, it was like, the 2001 Toyota Sienna is not the best car. And I had commented, and I was like, yes. Because I can't say anything else. And I don't know
where did that come from? You just decided it was going to be a thing.
I think it's brilliant. Like the first or second post when people started commenting, I was like, oh, how funny would it be if I just was like bland for a second?
Yes,
like,
that's pretty funny.
No, and then I just carried it on.
So the page has its own character now because of it. Yeah, dude, that's brilliant.
It's hilarious. I was literally driving to work one day and I was like, how funny would that be if I just made a page all about Sienna?
It's so funny that you were. I thought it was like, I just thought it was someone else, and you just so happened to have a Toyota Sienna that you loved, and you were like almost like brethren with this guy. You're like, oh, there's a guy here that loves these cars.
You know what's even funnier, bro?
It brought people in like that,
dude. I was added into a group chat that were all similar pages, like 2021 Mini Cooper Clubman best car, and like Honda Odyssey and this and that, and they were all in a group chat, right? And I don't log in that page that often, so I found out late, and I go into the group chat, and it's like 100 messages deep, and I'm reading it, and they're getting heated at each other, bro. They're getting mad. They're like, Mini Cooper Clubman's the best car. I'm like, not your Honda Odyssey, blah blah blah.
And then
the
Honda Pilot guy says, "Honda Pilot's the best
they're
car."
all button heads. And I remember I literally messaged. I said, "Yo, what the fuck am I in right now?" And I removed myself from the group.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But yeah, man, that whole page is a joke. But I just think it's hilarious that people don't understand that it's me, because bro, like all the video edits that I do, they're all like the type of music that I would pick out.
Yeah. I don't follow that page, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That's so funny. I'll buy Sienna. I'm not scared. I'm not
scared.
Him.
You heard him.
Yeah.
No, there's one. I was taking as many like Toyota commercials that I could find off YouTube
of the Sienna,
and I was putting Gucci Mane, I was putting Project Pat, I was putting every just hood music behind it that I could think of, bro. And I came across this one, and the Sienna pulls up to a stoplight next to a Supra, and it's got some crazy little livery on it. And the Supra, for some reason, had hydraulics, okay? This is a Toyota commercial. They're at the stoplight. You have to picture this. It's nighttime at a stoplight, orange and white Supra. Sienna pulls up next to it. Supra starts doing this. The Sienna has a whole family in it. All of a sudden, the Sienna starts hopping. I'm like, there's no way this exists. Hydraulics, Sienna? Yeah. Bro, this is my shit. And all of a sudden, the freaking Sienna, all four wheels come off the ground and starts flying into space. Bro, and the camera goes inside, and E.T.'s sitting in the back seat. This is a Toyota commercial, bro. E.T. in the back seat of a Sienna with hydraulics in space. This is an OEM commercial, bro.
Oh my gosh.
I can't make this up.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
I forget what song I had put next to it, but I was like, bro.
Toyota Sienna in space.
Bro. And
wow.
They had another.
I don't know who or what kind of drugs they were doing when they wrote that commercial.
2001, baby. It was a different time.
Let's have it. Yeah, it was a new millennium, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was 64.
Go easy, son.
No, but there was another one. We're still talking about Sienna, so I apologize.
This has become the Toyota Sienna podcast.
Yeah, but there's another one that's on that page, and it was, dude, they had a whole commercial of a Sienna being a pace car at some NASCAR event.
Yeah.
Dude, it's I don't know. It's just comical, because I'm like, man, like I'm just gonna edit these commercials. Like I was just expecting like regular, old car ad commercials, and then I'm seeing E.T. in the back with hydraulics and hilarious. NASCAR, and I'm like, bro, this is a Sienna.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's the Sienna talk, I guess, for the day.
Yeah,
but I bought a new one, and it's got 188,000, so I practically just restarted. I got a lot of catch up to do.
Got a lot of trips to do.
But I must say, dude, that thing rides. I can't explain how good it rides. I cannot explain awesome. It. And there's no shakes.
Yep.
Everything works.
Dude, you're talking to a guy, and anyone that listens to this podcast or follows me on Instagram knows, and I've talked about this on the podcast numerous times, I am not only an unhealthy enthusiast about these vehicles, but will buy. I already got a whole build like planned out for like the last 10 years now for one of these, a first generation K car Caravan. Mm-hmm. Like I have an unhealthy obsession with them, and so like Siennas, first gen Honda Odysseys with the hinge side doors. Like I'm into all useless. That stuff, dude. I'm into.
Do you
all
remember
of
Ryan
it.
Manuel's?
Oh, he snuck it into first with the giant freaking stinger pipe for no reason. Yeah, with the over fenders.
The over fenders and I think it had Euro lines on it, flat black Euro lines.
Yeah,
oh my god. That
but yeah,
hilarious.
I'm gonna do a first gen K platform Dodge Caravan. Like I love those things. Well, my mom had one. My parents had one when I was a kid, so that's kind of like where it goes back to. But we had a 5-speed manual one. Really? And they made them with a 2.2 turbo as well. So I'm on the hunt for like.
I mean, that's like the Previas. Everybody told me, "Oh, you should have got a Previa," and it was like, I wanted to get a Previa, but the aftermarket scene forum was like all there, so naturally I chose the harder route, and I got the Sienna that had no aftermarket support. But those are rad too, though, because those came rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, mid-engine, supercharged.
Right.
Minivan.
Yeah.
Toyota.
Yep. Really cool, and they're spaceships too. They look really cool.
Yeah. Have you seen the dash?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable.
It's just like a conference room.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing.
My buddy AJ Gillett in Chicago has that bagged one, that like burgundy bagged one.
Dude,
or burgundy red. Yeah, it's a really cool one.
On R33 wheels.
Yep. So I almost bought. My buddy Simon in England has a bunch of real weird quirky cars, and I almost bought a Nissan Prairie off of him.
Really?
I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a JDM.
The little box.
Van. Yeah, it's a little like box refrigerator with wheels, and it's got two sliding doors, and the front seats fold down and the rear seats fold in a way to where from the front seats all the way to the back it's a giant bed. The whole thing.
Do you know I don't know if you follow him, Joshua.
Oh yeah, Candy Room.
Have you seen his?
Josh. Oh yeah,
bro. The white one, the autism bus.
So yeah,
that's what he calls it.
But the blue tint.
Yes,
it's
dude.
So sick.
But dude, he's been doing. I mean, this isn't gonna be finished anytime soon, but he's body dropping that.
Yeah,
he's putting S13 subframes in it.
Yeah, really cool.
And he's currently building a Legend. I think it's a Honda Legend.
Yeah.
And he's tubbing the front. He's tubbing the rear. He's putting juice on it, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah,
Love Josh. So shouts to Josh. Joshua. My bruv.
We were chatting about that because he knows Simon as well. And when I was working, Simon offered me that Nissan Prairie for like dirt money. Now obviously I'd have to import it from England, but I've done that before. And he offered that van to me for like dirt cheap with a second Prairie worth of parts. And he goes, and I was like, oh, a bunch of parts too? And he goes, no, bro, like another van of parts. And he sent me a photo of everything but the unibody, like side doors, rear hatch, everything laid out as if it was a van, like on his back in his backyard. Steering wheel seats, everything was like laid out as like a Prairie without the fuselage. You know what I mean?
Fuselage, he says. I love listening to his terminology because he's so correct. Oh, it's so good.
And I almost pulled the trigger. I'm like, I want this. And so I was telling Josh, I'm like, dude, I might buy Simon's Prairie. And he's like, dude, you need to be the U.S. equivalent for the Prairie. I just like weird boxy stuff. I like wedge cars from the 80s. I like box cars from the 90s. I like that stuff. It's cool stuff.
Yeah, dude. But I mean, quirky cars in general, they're sick.
So speaking of vans, like our buddy Alex McGinnis is coming down from Louisville. I don't know if you know Alex or not. He's got the red Astro van that was here on Wires last October.
Ooh, okay.
Chevy Astro van. Just LS swapped it in like the last 2 weeks. Yeah, he's coming down tomorrow morning. It's sick.
I don't think I've seen it. That sounds hard.
You'll see it. They're not sure if they're going to be here in time for the TGC meet, but you'll see him at the pre-meet. It's a red Chevy Astro van, like, I don't know, late 80s, early 90s. Dropped pretty low. It was on Wires. It's on some other 3-piece wheel now, but yeah, he just, like, in like, 10 days maybe, like
LS swap.
Did a full LS. He did it himself, like dropped the subframe, did the LS swap.
Love that.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
That. You can't stop the hard work.
There'll be some really cool stuff here this weekend. For sure.
I'm stoked because I was talking to Mason last night. I was like, yo, so when I came in 2017, was that number 2 or number 3 Riverside? He goes, number 2. I'm like,
2, yeah.
I'm like, damn, so I really don't know what to expect because now we're on 6.
Yeah. Oh, that was the last time you came?
Yeah.
Yeah, because March before COVID shut it down, the day before, we had this giant pop-up meet, which was wild. And then last fall, when I came down with the Century, that was pretty wild. But Mason said he's never seen registration numbers like this year.
Well, because everybody's antsy. I mean,
last year was a wash.
It's just I can't believe, like, when I was here in 2017 for Riverside #2, that one was like insane. I literally have a photo that I took of a 64 Impala 4-door hardtop from the event hanging on my wall. Like, that event was one of the best events I think I've ever been to.
Yeah, so I guess I forgot that it's been that long since you've been down here for a while.
And I can't believe that it's actually better.
Yeah, like, for sure. It's only gotten
I'm not
better.
denouncing it, but it's crazy to think that it can be better.
Because 2017 was my first year down here too.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
So I've been able to see it every year.
That I have my car here, I'm so excited.
Corey feels that way too, because Corey finished his 190 last fall too, and couldn't take it to anything.
That thing is so hot.
It's making me miss mine, man. I wish I still had mine. We'd park them up together. Yeah,
dude,
it's a fun car.
Speaking of yours, I found its twin sitting underneath a carport.
Smoked silver, oxblood red interior.
I don't know.
5-speed?
I don't know about all that. I'm saying it outside. All right, chill. Sitting underneath a carport.
Small door cladding. The small door cladding, like the early model, like mine. Like Corey's has the real big door trim, door cladding.
Ooh, I don't
Mine's
know.
got the real.
I'm not super hip with them.
All right,
but there's one sitting across from my boss's new crib in a carport underneath like an inch of dust.
Ooh, baby.
Under a carport though, so it's safe. And I'm like, I told my boss, I was like, yo, once you're here for a couple months and
send me photos.
Cool with him, I'll show you after. I have a picture from the road, and I was like,
but I mean, find out if it's got 3 pedals and let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not gonna let you know. 'Cause I'm gonna cop that bitch. I'm gonna cop it. I'm gonna clean it up, and then I'll sell it to you. But anyways,
for a slight profit.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a profit, you know. But
gotta leave some meat on the bone for me, you know.
Yeah. No, but I told my boss, I was like, yo, once you moved in here for a couple months and you get cool with him, you know. Let me know. I'll slide through. I'll be like, hey man,
what's up with that old junk Mercedes you got in there?
Some of that Benz, you know.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Imagine if it's a 5-speed. That'd be amazing. I searched forever for a 5-speed. That's why I searched forever, and then I pulled the trigger on mine. It wasn't. I wanted a black on black in a 5-speed, but yeah. But like we were talking about it yesterday. The smoked silver with the oxblood red interior, although it wasn't my color combo, I fell in love with it, especially the oxblood.
I mean, it's silver. You can't go wrong with it. And then a red accent.
And the oxblood's kind of hard to find in the 190, so I was super stoked on that.
And that name, bro.
Yeah.
Oxblood.
Yeah.
I got oxblood interior.
Yeah, it was a sweet interior.
I love interior names. Bro.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my god.
And like what I wanted to find a Sportline 190 with the 5-speed. But then the deeper I dug, I found out they didn't make a 5-speed in the Sportline because the Sportline had like its own interior, and it was a really, really cool interior. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
I'd buy another one for sure.
Dude, they're so sick. And after seeing his tonight, dude, that thing lays out, man. That thing's tucking lug nut almost.
Yeah, they're cool cars.
So hard. Fat 5 on it. Oh my god.
Yeah. Good looking car. We cruised up from we cruised up to Chattanooga from Dalton tonight because we trailered our cars down, but he drove it up, so I think it looked pretty cool.
I can't wait to cruise tomorrow, bro. I hope tomorrow's nice.
It's gonna be nice.
Oh man.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I am so excited to
dude.
Whip, man.
The 700 wasn't running well leading up to this, so my plan was with everything I had on for prepping the van, the trailer, the 700, making all the merchandise, all that stuff, and commission jobs too. I was like, I don't have time to like rebuild the carburetor or figure out why this thing isn't running right. So I wasn't planning on cruising it around a bunch. But we drove it over from Mason's today, like I said before, and the thing's running. It was
elevation and that temperature, man. It's nice out here.
It was giving me some grief at the beginning, but then once it warmed up, the thing was running fine. So I'm like I said, we were skating it around Chattanooga. So
we'll be skating tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it. God, I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, as are we, dude. We're excited.
Because that car has never... I've literally taken it to Maryland, West Virginia, and then obviously Virginia. I've never taken it, like... anywhere, like, cool. I mean, I took it to Ocean City 2014, but, like, being able to have it here at the currently now, in my opinion, the best show.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, dude, everything else is gone. Like, First Class Fitment doesn't exist anymore. H2O doesn't really exist anymore, so it's like...
A lot of our shows up in the Northeast are gone too, because my buddy Mike Lynch put on a show called Staggered for a while. That was a massive show.
I wanted to go to that.
He's doing Lock City Drift, so he's got a lot going on there. But like, Staggered's gone. That was always the weekend before or after First Class Fitment.
Yeah, I think it was before.
Yeah, there's just a lot. It was usually Columbus Day weekend. So that would have been.
Yeah, and obviously Soho. But, like.
Yeah.
This is literally, like, the only thing that we've got left now.
That Miata would fit in real well at Simply Clean.
Yeah, that's true. I forget about Simply Clean.
I've hauled my cars down for that.
Yeah, that would be
twice.
Sick, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is I'm not a huge car show guy,
yeah.
but stuff like that is different.
Nikolai has the same outlook with a show as Mason does with Riverside. There's no
I
trophies.
Tell.
It's a giant car meet, and Mason puts on the after meet, which last year at one Daytona there were over 2,500 cars at the after meet. It was bonkers.
Bonkers. Put the record scratch on that. Oh my God.
I still got the hipness.
He's got the hip in his hop. Don't stop. Man. Go ahead. Anyways, I think I'm obviously extremely excited about the show, but I don't know if I'm more excited for the show or the pre and post meets. Because when I came in 2017, the pre-meet.
Yeah, pre-meet's always good. It's always good.
in that square with all the tall buildings everywhere.
Oh
my God.
It's being held. It's being held across from the pavilion this year.
And then the after meet is in the square. I was looking at it on the map.
Yes.
So the after meet.
Dustin from Okie Doke puts on the after meet.
Yeah, I didn't know he was putting that on.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude, that location with the light.
Yep.
And like everybody had
downtown
the
Chattanooga.
On, and,
yeah,
and like the.
Last October, man, we had the Sentry sitting in that lot at night, aired out. People not knowing what on earth it was.
I wish I had my E36 here too. Imagine my E36 and my Miata just laid out. Oh my God, that'd be a dream.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. I understand that.
One day.
Yeah, plenty of times. I mean, I felt the same way, like going somewhere super far with a car, and you're like, oh man. So the first time I brought a car down to Simply Clean was 2017 with my right-hand drive E23.
Yeah, I remember. And because you shot some photos for a magazine down there, right?
We shot it for PBMW magazine. So DeHate actually reached out to me.
Legend.
When I was mid-project. That car was on the lift in pieces. We decided to take it to Simply Clean. But there was a lot of corners, not corners I was going to cut, but there's a lot of things I wasn't going to tackle on the car because we only had like 10 days to finish the car. And I was doing everything. I had sourced that whole BBS body kit. I had to do a lot of plastic and paint work.
Amazing.
I had found those Ronal AC Schnitzer Type 2s that I was fully restoring. And then I found, I was building the suspension. I was building that car phone to operate the suspension.
Dude.
There was so many like pieces. The car was in pieces and gutted. Everything was in pieces.
This conversation's putting me in my feelings. Oh, I love that car so much.
I thank you, man. Oh, Cypress Green, which is a Euro-only color.
Perfect.
It was owned by the Consul General of Turkey. I've talked about this car.
I love that. That's the biggest flex.
Dude, so you know what the biggest flex for him owning the car was that he ordered it fully optioned in a factory 5-speed manual.
Yeah.
Which, because the 5-speed manual.
That's poverty shit.
Yeah, getting the manual in the E23 was base spec. You got the cloth interior, no sunroof, no AC.
Roll-up windows probably.
Right, yeah. All that stuff. I mean, you could option some stuff out, but he got
everything.
Like the windshield, the headlight wiper washer system on the headlights. Yep.
I didn't know that. Damn.
Both low beams and high beams, wiper washer system, had the leather interior, had sunroof,
them peanut butter guts,
sunroof and AC, which was rare in Europe. You either got one or the other. Usually, he got both. He got the C-pillar study lights in the back, fully optioned with a 5-speed manual from the factory. And in Cypress Green,
best color.
Best color ever.
God, dude, that color hits.
Dude, when I bought that car, I'll if I haven't on this podcast, I did on Revival, but I'll probably talk about that whole build in depth on an episode at some point. But dude, I found that car on Craigslist behind a barn in the woods in Vermont. The guy had bought it off the Consul General, who had moved from England to Montreal and then into Vermont and got their citizenship in his retirement. Brought the car with him, sold it to him. He put it on Craigslist.
Rot.
Yep. But it was rust free, which is crazy.
I remember when you posted the original photos of it.
I saved the Craigslist ad photos. I always do that. If I buy a car on Craigslist, I save the photos.
Covered in just
bad shape.
Earth.
Yep. You know what was even crazier? The trunk didn't work. Did you hear about this part?
No.
The trunk didn't work, right? So basically, I'm looking on Craigslist when I shouldn't be looking on Craigslist, right? No money to buy another car. No money to buy another car. I'm tapped right now, right? But it's a cold December wintry night in New Hampshire. At home, you're bored. You're looking on Craigslist. You're window shopping, right? I find this car, and I'm like, oh, no way. And basically, and I won't go into every painstaking detail, but the front the first photo is a front quarter shot of the car, and immediately I realize it's got Euro lights because it's got the big low beams. Yeah. It doesn't have the single 5-inch sealed beams all the way across. It's got the real big low beam, and I'm like,
this isn't just a regular.
I'm like, well, that's a Euro front end. I'm like, well, but people have done the swaps. I'm like, oh, somebody put Euro lights in that at some point. Next slide, rear quarter shot. Now, I've owned a US spec E23, so I know how bad the US spec bumpers look on these cars, and the sealed beams all the way across the front. Second photo is rear quarter shot, rear Euro bumper, like the real thin chrome tucked in bumper.
At this point, John's going,
well, yeah, I'm leaning.
Wait a minute.
Now I'm at the edge of the couch, and I'm like, now if this was an E28, E24, maybe an E21, E30 for sure, people would do a rear Euro bumper, right? But I don't know who would take a 7 Series and like swap a rear Euro bumper on it,
and do all that and let it go to shit.
Right. Third slide, open up the interior is the third shot, right? So there's an interior shot. Now, before I even realize where the steering wheel is, I see 3 pedals and a shifter, and I'm like, no, this is a Euro model 5-speed? And then it sinks in that it's right-hand drive, and I'm like, no way.
Like, you don't just find stuff like this.
So here's the deal. At the time, I didn't have my own trailer at the time. So my parents live up the street from me, and this was like 10 o'clock at night. I didn't know if my parents were in bed or not, so I ran up to the house, ran inside. My dad's in his office, and he's oddly enough on Craigslist too. And I walk in the room, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? And it was like a Saturday. And he turns around without skipping a beat, and he goes, where are we going? Like, he knew I found something.
Because it's how late at night?
10 o'clock at night.
10 o'clock at night.
So anyway, again, I won't tell the whole story, but we show up there. It's on the guy's trailer behind his barn. And it was like he had liquidated all these cars he had. He used to have a garage. He sold the property the garage was on. He sold all the cars. This was the last car that wouldn't sell. So he put it on his trailer and hauled it. He sold the property his garage was on. And E23 was the only car left that nobody wanted. So he put it on his trailer, brought it back to his house, didn't even unload it, just unhooked it behind his barn and left it there, right? And there it sat. So anyway, we did the deal. I'll talk about the details in another episode. But as we're trying to get it unhooked from his trailer, and snow's raining down. That's a whole other story.
I didn't know it was snowing.
Other story. Yeah, and he lived on like a mountain pass. We almost died going home with it, like wild stuff. But he had the excess strapping of his rear ratchet straps shut in the trunk.
In the trunk.
So yeah, rather than like tied up. Right. So we're trying to get it unloaded. It didn't run. He thought it needed a fuel pump. We figured it out, but it wouldn't run at the time. So we had to push it off his trailer and push it on our trailer.
But you had to get the trunk open.
Right. So I'm trying to open the trunk to get the excess strapping out, and it won't open. And so I just pull the strapping out with the trunk shut. And he saw me kind of fiddling with it. And he goes, the trunk works. It might just be too cold. It might be frozen. I'm like, whatever, not a big deal. So we get it loaded. We get it home.
Straps.
Well, we get it home. So I put it in my dad's shop overnight, which is heated. And in the morning, sure enough, I go down and the trunk just opens. What was in the trunk is what's important. What was in the trunk, which was unidentifiable at first, but I had Robert from Wolf Technic in Richmond help identify some stuff. Because I had a feeling it was Porsche stuff, and it was 1960, 68 and 69 911 and 912 parts filled in the trunk of this car, right?
What?
Tin work, like rear trailing arm, engine shroud, fan shroud, engine tin. I mean,
random.
Like lots of weird, just random metal stuff, generator and all that stuff. But there was a 3-spoke steering wheel without a horn button in there, right? And it looked European. But no horn button. But it was a VDM steering wheel, and I knew they made like European steering wheels. So I sent that photo to Robert, and I'm like, is this Porsche too? And he goes, yep, that's a 1960 or 61 356 steering wheel.
Bruh.
So that's what I said. And he goes, hold your horses. The horn button is worth more than the steering wheel, and that's not the most desirable steering wheel. And I'm like, all right.
He goes, well, there's another one underneath the seat. Let me get it.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I collect like European steering wheels. I've got a bunch of old like the rare Mark 1s. I've got like a first gen Scirocco. I've got some Alpina steering wheels. Like I'm into that stuff. Ivory Mercedes steering wheels.
Love it.
So I'm like, well, whatever. I'll just search for a horn button. Maybe I can find one cheap. I'll put it on the wall. So I go on eBay and I find 3 of those same steering wheels without horn buttons for sale, listed for like $1,200. Right? Robert goes, hold your horses again.
And he said the horn is more than the...
He goes, hold your horses again. Those people are fishing, like...
Maybe 800.
He goes, why don't you list it on eBay? Let me know how it does or whatever. He goes, because I've got boxes of those steering wheels. I sell that steering wheel to a guy in Germany for $900.
Oh my God. I want to see the steering wheel.
It was stuck in the trunk of that car that I paid $2,000 for.
Bruh, stonks.
So I had $1,100 into that car. Wow. Actually, no, let me take that back. Robert gave me like $300 or $400 for all the tin work. He's like, you take like $400 for all the rest of that Porsche stuff? And I'm like, yep. So I had, let's do the math. What's that, $1,300?
I hate this, man.
$1,200?
That is so annoying.
So I had $800 into that car.
And that is so annoying.
And it didn't need a fuel pump. It needed a secondary fuel pump relay. It didn't need the relay. It needed a ground to that relay. So we grounded it. The car started. So I started diving into this project. I'm halfway through it, right? I drove it bone stock for 2016. But the end of 2016 for Simply Clean, I'm in the project for this car, and DeHate goes, hey, so Performance BMW wants to feature the car. Do you want to shoot it when you come down for Daytona? So now I'm like,
shits himself.
I'm like, great. Now I got to do a trunk setup and all this other stuff. Yeah. And so I had to go even deeper down the rabbit hole. That's when I made that wooden floor and I laser engraved the BMW logo in it. And like, I just went down the rabbit hole with that car.
And the BBS plate.
Yeah.
The acrylic plate.
Yeah, the acrylic plate. I made a lot of like real weird, like,
dude, that
like
kit though pulled that car together.
Here's the deal about that kit, man.
Bro.
So
I love this story too. This is good. Oh my God.
Oh my!
I love being able to follow along with all this and then recap it. You know what I mean?
So Cliff Notes. Man. Cliff Notes were, here's this Cypress Green Euro right-hand drive, fully optioned 5-speed manual 7 Series. To icing on the cake for all the BMW nerds listening, icing on the cake. It was a pre-facelift Mark I Shark Nose E23.
Yeah.
So this was not the facelift plastic grill. This was Shark Nose, the OG BMW, right?
Just.
So now I'm like, all right, it's fully optioned, but it's a manual. So let's go motorsport with this car. So this is before I found the HE Schnitzers. So I'm like, all right.
Really gets the juices flowing.
Yeah, man. I was like, and this is making me miss the car even more because obviously I've sold it. But I got all the money for it. I sold that car for $22,000.
He bleeps that number out.
I mean, that was like bring a trailer price.
Holy shit. I didn't realize it was that much. God damn.
Why else do you think I rebranded everything to Ludwig's Garage? I'm trying to do more of those.
Wow.
But so that was unexpected. I caught the market. I mean, look at what vintage Euro BMWs are doing right now. So like that car is worth 30 now. And I sold it 2 years ago. That car is worth 30, mid-30s.
And you give it another 5 years?
Right. And to be honest...
Then he'll really be mad.
I know.
22 grand?
Yeah. But the thing is that car, like, I didn't rob somebody. See, like, that car is actually... And at first I thought I did. I'm like, man, am I, like, asking too much for this car? Yeah. But then you see what clean... Corey and I were talking about this yesterday. Clean E24, like, non-M E24 6 Series are $20,000 cars now. Mm-hmm. It's wild,
dude.
But so anyway,
behind those,
the 5-speed, the car being a 5-speed, I said, all right, I'm a book nerd about a lot of this stuff, and I was like, all right, it's a 5-speed 7 Series. I know that Alpina, BBS, Zender, and a couple other companies made body kits for the 7 Series. And most of them were for
Which is hilarious, by the way, because that's just a luxury car.
Big body car, right, exactly.
Not a sports car.
But I'm thinking, well, a lot of those body kits were made specifically for Euro bumpers, like Euro model cars only. So they weren't available in North America. So here we go. Germany eBay, England eBay, calling contacts, friends I have in mainland Europe and in England. Like, I'm on the hunt for this stuff.
And where does he find it?
So I found...
I love this.
I found the BBS front splitter. Now here's the deal: BBS made 2 front splitters for the E23. They made it with fog lights, and they made one without fog lights. Now the one without fog lights looks as DTM as it gets. Like, just the fins in the
they don't stop.
Yeah, the fins in that lip match the fins in the grill, and it just in the lip is as wide as the car and goes straight down. It just gives it that air dam.
I love this so much.
Oh my gosh,
I could talk about this all day,
dude. So I find on eBay in England at a brake yard in London, I find a non-fog light E23 front splitter on a Euro bumper. So it comes with another Euro bumper, right? Which is like $1,000 easily for like $350. Done, right? Order it, or I bought it. A friend of mine from Bristol drove to London to collect it. It's a metal building outside of London with shelving units in it and just parts strewn haphazardly all throughout this building, right? Like there's no rhyme or reason. Parts everywhere. There's a few cars like in there. Everything's covered in dust. Like it looks like nobody had been in there in years.
Love it.
In the middle, I've got a photo I'll show you too. In the middle of this building, and my buddy who went to pick it up was a photographer, so he took photos of this. In the middle of this shop with parts, there's parts on it. There's like, Corey's nodding his head. He knows what's up. He's heard the story. There's like blankets on this car and there's like parts on it. And Bruce, my buddy who went to get it, like he kind of recognized the shape of that car and he's like, is that what I think it is? And the old timer on the building is like, or on the company is like, yeah, it is. Oh, guys, might as well show you. Starts pulling stuff off, pulls the cover off, and it is a genuine one of the 502 Evo 2 190s.
Bruh.
Yep. A real one.
Wow.
Let me recant. One of 500 in black. The extra 2 were silver.
Yeah.
But it was a true Evolution 2 190 sitting there with just like junk on it.
Bro, you find stuff like that?
How crazy is that?
And you see it and you go, like the hair stands up on your arm.
He sent me the photo when he was still there and he goes, look what else is in here.
Bro,
and I was like,
dude, when I found the BBS kit for
the E30
for my father's E30, shouts to Andrew Bannister. I was at work and he was at the junkyard and he said, hey, there's a black E30.
We're going there in a minute too.
Bro, and he goes, there's a black E30 and it's got some weird body kit on it. He's like, I don't know, you should look at it. I wasn't expecting anything. He didn't send me pictures or anything. He just told me, it's in that row back there. I'm like, okay, whatever, bro. I roll up on this thing. I'm like,
you know exactly what it is.
I'm looking at the fins on the front, just like we were just talking about. I'm like, I feel like I know this, and I'm like, I'm starting to get excited, and I look like in the fender well on the edge of the bumper, and I see BBS. I'm like, there is no way. And the junkyard closes at 4:30. It's like 3:45.
Yep, let's go.
I'm in my van. I called Justin up. Yo, I need you to come here right now. We have to pull this kit off before they close, and I have to get it because if somebody else takes it or it gets crushed, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, we pull this kit off. It's 4:23. Okay.
I remember you posting it the day you found it.
Oh my God, dude. So this kit, this was the version 1 kit because same with the 7 Series, they had V1 and a V2.
Right,
so
exactly.
The V1 it was a, I think, 20 millimeter wider stance from the body to where it flowed into some fender flares,
right,
which flowed into skirts, which rear flares
into the rear
bumper.
Right.
And me and Justin all of these pieces are between the two of us from all the way in the back of the junkyard all the way to the front in 8 minutes or 7 minutes, something like that.
Wild.
Dude, get up to the counter and there's this little sliding glass door. We're out of breath. We're like, we lay these bumpers down. We're like,
we did
What's up, man?
We made it.
You got no idea what we found. And he goes, sorry, we're closed. Slams the door shut.
No
I'm like,
way.
I look at Justin. I was like, and Justin speaks up. He's like, hey, dude, like, I'm walking here. He's like, dude, like, we got this stuff here. Like, what are you talking about? And he just walks out of the little, like, room that room is in with the sliding door. And I'm like, and we look at each other. I'm like, what are we supposed to do? And then the security guard, he's like, yo, he's like, you can take these bumpers. And he's like, just put them behind the shack. And he's like, just make sure you come and get them tomorrow. He's like, if you're not there, I'm going to sell them. And I was like, stress is through the roof, dude. Yep. So I put it behind the little security shack, and then the next morning I get up. They open at 8. I'm there like 7:59, bro.
Yeah.
I walk straight to that security shack, take it, pay for it. The dude that closed the window on me the day prior was like, hey man, I'm sorry about that. He's like, I'll hook you up a little bit. Got the whole kit for $140.
Unbelievable.
And that same day, I had 3 people offer me $3,000.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And you know what's actually really even more fucked up? I'm an asshole. So we like I said, how it has the flares and the skirts.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of that look.
Yeah.
But really like the bumpers. So me and my father made it fit the car stock body.
To the American bumpers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we took the metal bumper out, but you know the little covers that go over the metal bumper?
Yeah.
It slips into those perfectly.
Right.
But anyways, so we don't have the skirts or the flares on the car. And I've got them sitting in my crawl space just because of sentimental value, bro.
Right.
That was such an insane find.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who it was. Somebody messaged me on Instagram and said, hey, man, I remember when you got it, and I remember you saying you didn't care about the flares and skirts. He's like, he was overseas somewhere, and he was like, I found the front and rear bumper, and I need the flares and the skirts. And he's like, you want to sell them? And I was like, it's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I wish I could, but
yeah,
for some reason, I have this attachment to them that
I get it.
I can't get rid of them.
I get it.
So whenever I have my own spot, I plan on like hanging them up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you can at least get like that side profile of them. But like, dude, I'm an asshole. I should have sold those.
No, I get it. I get it. I mean, like when I was collecting that BBS kit, I didn't find them all in one go like that. And I found the hex spoiler, which were all black, because people were like, "Oh, when are you gonna paint them?" Like, no, they were black. Like they were like this foam, rubberized like foam, like black.
Yeah.
And I found that on
80s shit.
I found that in Poland, and they wanted a ton of money for it. I passed on it. It was on like Germany eBay or something. I passed on it, and then it was gone. And then I was like, I should have gotten. That was the only one I could find. I was like, it was for an E23 BBS hex spoiler. They had all the photos. All the studs were still on it because you had to drill holes in your trunk lid. The stamping was still on it. It was genuine. I was like, oh man. Well, anyway, thought I missed it. It popped back up a month later. They'd relisted it on US eBay, and it was like quite a bit. I think they wanted like $450 for it, but it was like a make offer thing. I didn't realize you only had 3 goes on a make offer deal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I like offered like $250. Nope. And I was like, all right, $300. Nope. And it said you have one more offer, and I was like, oh. Now I'm like sweating. It's like that looking at the button like meme, like sweating, and I was like,
which one?
I was like, I almost just wanted to pay full price so I knew I could get it.
Yeah.
And I like offered like $350, and they took it, and I was like, oh, thank God. So anyway, so that arrived. Nope, no harm done. I searched everywhere. So the guy that I bought that hex spoiler off of in Poland, I was scouring the earth for the side skirts, and you know where this is going.
Oh yeah,
because this is what you want to hear. I scoured the earth for the side skirts.
So good.
And the guy that I bought the hex spoiler off of in Poland was like, I'd say professional, what they would call like a breaker. Like he parted out BMWs specifically.
I love that that's what they call it.
A breaker.
There. I'm gonna break this car.
Exactly.
Hit me up for parts.
Yep.
Instead of parting it out, break.
So I asked him. I said, have you ever come across E23 BBS side skirts? And he goes, I've been doing this for 20 years. I don't know for sure BBS didn't make side skirts, but I've never seen them. So I was like, all right. So I was kind of deflated. I kept searching. I knew like I'd seen a couple E23s with side skirts, so I didn't know if they were BBS or not. But I'm like, I gotta find some. I gotta find some. So fast forward, we shot the car for PBMW and we shot the car for Fast Car Magazine. Cy Gray flew over from England to shoot it for Fast Car without the side skirts. So I had the BBS kit on it. Later in 2017 fall, Corey was at a junkyard in southern New Hampshire getting like Mark V parts, like Volkswagen parts. And he sends me a photo. It doesn't say anything, just sends me a photo of a white E23
with white grills
that was in the junkyard, right? And it was up on blocks, no wheels, like whatever. And it was just a photo, and it might have said something like,
you're leaving an important context now. This junkyard is in the middle of the woods with like vines everywhere.
Yeah,
like,
in the middle of the woods.
This looks like you just stumbled upon like an I don't know what. But.
So he's like he just sends me the photo, and he's like, this is at the yard I'm at, and immediately I see big low beam lights and a front Euro bumper and a front like aftermarket or OEM plus splitter, like front. So this is a body kit. Right, so that's what I see first, and I'm like, dude, that's a Euro car. And Corey's like, yeah, I was pretty sure it was a Euro car. Like it looked just like your front end. And I'm looking at the photo more. It's got side skirts on it.
And you're like, dude, I don't care if they're BBS or Zender or what they are.
He's at a junkyard an hour from my house in the woods of New Hampshire, and there's a Euro E23 with side skirts on it.
I love these stories, bro.
I've been searching the world. I've got friends in Japan looking for E23s with side skirts. Australia. I'm like, what do I got to do to find something?
You can't make this up.
No.
God, I love it.
I call Corey. I don't even text him back. I call him, and I go, do whatever you got to do. Like we got to get those. Like I have to have them. And so I said, what are you doing tomorrow? And he goes, nothing. I'm around tomorrow. I'm like, I'm coming down there tomorrow morning. Because he was down there when they were like closing. So I'm like, all right, they're probably going to be there like tomorrow morning. So we jet down. I'll never forget this. This is the first time I ever used Instagram story. The first Instagram story.
What?
So I didn't use it right away. People were on, and I'm like, this 15-second video that lasts 24 hours, I don't like this.
What?
So I'm like, I'm going to use this. So I'm driving down to the yard in New Hampshire there. And I remember using the Instagram story for the first time. Driving, and I'm like, going to pick some like rare BMW parts today or whatever. Dude, these stories in their 24-hour cycle, probably because they were the first ones I ever did, had like 30,000 views on them or something bonkers. Like, it was wild. So, but the content was worth it, right? So I went down there. And so I didn't know what this front splitter was. I had no idea. I'd never seen anything like it, right? It didn't look like BBS or Zender or Vestatech or anything like that. So we get to the yard, and the yard's everything new. It's all like Mark 5s, B5 Audis, and all of a sudden there's a Euro spec. Here it is, 745 turbo E23 sitting there.
What? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, which was mainland Europe and North America market only, because the right-hand drive variants couldn't fit the turbo manifold with the steering and all that stuff. Yeah, so it's a German market, not just mainland Europe. It was a German market. All the HVAC and all the instrumentation was all in German. So it was a German market, turbo 745 E23, shark nose pre-facelift, same as my car. So here we are, my friend.
Hour from your house,
I've got duplicate grills, side markers, trim. Like, I'm like, what? So we're pulling. I'm like, I came with the arsenal of tools. I'm like, we're pulling everything off this car. Like, everything's coming off. All the Euro molding, because the US spec bumpers, the rear US spec bumpers, wrapped around in order to house the US like legal side markers. Yeah. Europe didn't need side markers.
Yep.
So
that's how the E30 is.
So the rear US spec bumpers wrapped around the side and had this big accordion like side like molding that the marker was in. Yeah. The Euro just had a little thin trim that matched the door trim, and then the bumper was just on the back, right? Yep. So if you want to do a rear Euro bumper conversion on a US spec E23, you need those little bumper strips, like the side molding. And you can't find them anywhere because I've looked. Unless you go to Europe and go to a brake yard that has an E23 and you go
to New Hampshire into a junkyard in the middle of nowhere and find this.
So luckily enough, I know what I need for someone else to have a full swap, right? So I'm collecting parts, we're pulling everything off, but at the same time, we're trying to find out what kind of kit this is. It's got side skirts, it's got a kind of a big wing, like almost like kind of gross looking, but I'm into it because it's 90s. I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So the wing isn't even attached to the trunk lid anymore. So we just tossed that in the bed of a truck next to it. I'm like, I might take that, I might not. I don't know. I don't really like it. So we're pulling the front bumper because I'm taking the bumpers too. I mean, this is like
there.
We pull the bumper. We look in and around the front splitter for like any sort of stamping. We can't find anything, right? So now we're working on the side skirts. You have to open the doors to get to the mounts on the rockers. Rear doors won't open. They're locked, right? And the handles don't work. And I'm like, how are we going to get in here? We are not leaving this junkyard.
I've never heard this part of the story.
I haven't told this part of the story. I'm like, we are not leaving this junkyard without these side skirts, and we can't break them. I mean, obviously, you could have re-fiberglassed them if you had to.
But that's not the point.
I'm like, we couldn't get the rear doors open. We couldn't get them open. I was taking door cards off. We were trying to do everything we could. We couldn't get them open. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I don't know what to do. We open the front doors, and it's clear that there's just like a Phillips head screw, like self-tapper that's like holding. Yeah. There's only one. So we're assuming that there's probably only one on the back door. So we get some like plastic, like, pry bars in there. We're pulling down with a flashlight, and we get a line of sight under the door, and we just see one little screw head. And I get a big old flathead screwdriver and a hammer, and I'm like, trying to break the head off of that. And we finally broke the head off of one. Dude, we pulled that first side skirt off in one piece, and the mount hole still together. And I'm
holy shit.
Oh. So we look on the inside, right? Look on the inside. Racing Dynamics. And I'm like, oh, this all makes sense. So we went running up to the front splitter. We cleaned it up a little bit more and took like a closer look. Racing Dynamics. Where's the wing? We get to the truck. We take out the wing. Racing Dynamics. I'm like, this is a full Euro Mark 1 E23 Racing Dynamics kit.
John, I have chills.
Dude, I do too. Corey does too. Corey's behind the camera.
I love this
Corey's
so much.
laughing. Yeah, he remembers this.
Oh, this is so good.
I'm freaking out. I'm like, we just found a full, not like early 80s. This was Italian designed, made in California, oddly enough, but only for Euro model cars, right?
That's fucked.
So Racing Dynamics full kit, full body kit. I'm like, this is unbelievable. We get the other side skirt off, a lot of finagling, but we get it off. So here we go. And I've got a photo too. I've got it all laid out on the ground, just like you did with your kit. But I went a little farther. We've got side skirts. We've got the rear kit. We've got the front splitter. We've got the front Euro bumper. We've got the Euro grills. We've got the Euro markers. We've got the Euro trim. We've got the rear wing. We've got everything all laid out, right? We take wheelbarrows. They had like wheelbarrows at this junkyard you could like loan.
Yeah.
And we brought everything up. What else? I had interior stuff. I had the HVAC panel. I had like
just the cool shit.
Everything, right? Now this should be noted. This is very important, and I'm totally transparent about it. I had just purchased my second laser machine because my first machine was like on the fritz. I bought a cheap one when I first started.
Just to get started.
I bought this next one, and literally 2 weeks prior, I had spent everything I had on this new laser machine. This was like 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Everything I had $250 to my name. No savings, no nothing, right? Put it all on black.
Dreams, baby.
Yep. Talk about leaps of faith. Bought a bigger machine for a ton of money. Yeah. Didn't have credit. Paid in cash. Owned it, right? So I had just...
Baller.
So I'm grinding to make rent, to make my bills for the next month, right? So I'm in this phase. And Corey calls me and goes, look what I found.
And I'm like, Corey, you got me, right?
Like, dude, I go down there and I'm like, whatever I got to do, I'm buying this. Like, whatever I got to do, right? So we go up there. I mean, I might have had like $350 in my name, but it was tight. I mean, I'm talking,
the kit's $349.
I'm 30 years old and I've got no money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm living life to the fullest. So we get up there, we get up to the office and we got all this stuff, right? And I know what we've got. We've got a couple $1,000s worth of rare BMW parts. And so the guy's tallying everything up and he's like,
he goes, wait a minute, I
know
that name.
He types it all up and he goes, how about $350 for everything? And I'm like, and I turn around and look at Corey and Corey's like, oh my gosh, like that's so cheap. Like so we're kind of being quiet. Meanwhile, that's all I got.
Oh, you got.
That's all I got. Like I'm not eating if I buy that.
Oh my.
I'm not eating. Like it's over. Like I think I still have to go grocery shopping. It's over. So I'm like, amazing. But I know the deal. It's a junkyard. I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm like, listen.
Finagle.
I'm like, listen. It's all old. Look, we broke some. Or not we broke, but there's some broke parts on here. Yeah. I said that front splitter's got like the fog lights. I don't need the fog lights. Like if you tallied, because I'm sure you tallied those out. I don't need those. Like I'll take them out. No, it's cool, man. It's cool, man. Give us $300 for everything. And I'm like, I can't, man. Like, listen, what'd you tally up for the lights? I'll take the lights out. I'll even take them back to the car. No problem. Yeah. Nah, man, it's cool. It's cool. He comes down to like $250, and I'm like, I can't do it, man. Like, I can't do it. Like,
That's the kicker, because you brought everything up there, and then you haggle them, and you go, oh, I can't do it, and then it makes them go, oh man.
Yeah,
because then they would have to take it back.
Yeah, well, but I was telling him, I was even being nice. I'm like, I'll take it back, man. It's not a big deal. Like, I just. You know, I don't know what I'm going to use and I'm not going to use.
Meanwhile, he's like, fuck, I hope he doesn't say yes to that.
He goes.
He's like, I don't want to take this back.
I said, listen, what are you telling? I said, those are real glass hella. Now I'm being transparent about some of the stuff. Like, those are real glass hella, like, OEM fog lights. Like, I'll take those back. Those are worth some money if someone else wants them, you know? Like, let me take some off the top. No, man, don't worry about it. How about $200? And I turned around and look at Corey's face. Right, I was looking at that face. I turned around and I'm like, I'm trying to make sure that guy doesn't see me. And Corey's like, what just happened? He gave us $350, which was the deal of the century.
Yeah, already.
We talked him down to $200 for everything, right? And I was like, so here I am, still broke, right? I paid $200. We go out to lunch. I pay for Corey's lunch. I'm like, I owe you this, man. I don't care how broke I am. You're the reason I found this.
Yeah, literally.
So the side skirts had a couple breaks in them. They moved those cars with forklifts. Yeah. So the side skirts were kind of broken in a couple places. My buddy Mo Collins fiberglassed them all for me, and my buddy Keith painted them perfect, color matched. I mean, you saw the car with them on.
Beautiful.
So it fit the whole car. So here it is. All I put on my car were the side skirts. That's all I wanted. So here I have 2 extra Euro bumpers, right? Because the BBS splitter I bought in London came with a bumper. So I've got 2 spare front Euro bumpers
sitting on gold
in my shed. I've got the Racing Dynamics front splitter and the wing, and I've got the rear bumper mold trim and a few other bits, right? They go in my shed for a rainy day in case, heaven forbid, someone hits the front of my car. I've got grills, I've got a bumper, I've got whatever, right? I sell the car without the stash. I sell the car, profit big time on the car. Thankfully, thank God, right? I bounced back, right? My investment in the laser machine, in case anyone's hanging on that, my investment in the laser machine paid off. And it's one of those like David and Goliath stories where Goliath is life that's trying to eat you, and David is the slingshot being like, I'm going to take a leap of faith and see what comes out.
Make it work.
So it worked. I made rent. I made my bills. I found my dream body kit for the car. It all worked out. We're good. You know, here we are today. We're good. Quality of life is good. I ate dirt for a little bit, but we all got to eat dirt sometimes, you know?
Dude.
So cars sold, profited on the car. Same trip, brought the Century home, right? Bought a dream car I'd searched the earth for 8 years, not knowing how to ever find one. In the same trip, we drive to LA. We drive the E23 to LA, come home with the Century.
Which is already a dream car.
Yeah, exactly. So now I've got this stash of parts in my shed, right? And I'm making more investments in the business, and I'm trying to dive in on the Century, and I'm like, all right, I'll sell the parts. I think BMW stuff's going mental right now. I'll sell the stuff in the shed.
Still is.
I sold what was left of the Racing Dynamics kit with the factory valence that was on my E23 that I replaced the BBS bumper with, and the Euro trim to a guy in California for $2,200.
Bruh. This man is about his money. Let me tell you.
But see, you don't. Here's the thing. And this is for everyone listening, because when I listen to stories like this, I'm just like you. I get charged up. I'm like, let's go. Facebook Marketplace, where are the deals? Let's go. I'm ready to spend some money to make some money. But here's the thing.
That's not why.
Right. I had no idea that was going to turn into that. Yeah. I knew it was a good deal for what I paid, but I would have paid $800 just for those side skirts.
It's like a subconscious that, you know, you buy that kit, you know you're not buying it to resell it.
Exactly.
It's just one of those things that, like, you buy it to keep it, but if you fall in that situation where you have to sell it, you know you're going to make money.
Exactly.
It's one of those things.
I went on eBay and a few other places to see what front Euro E23 bumpers are going for, and the bumpers alone are going for $1,000. Yeah, dude. And I'm like, I got 2 of those things. Yeah. And a full Racing Dynamics kit. I sold that for a deal. You know what I mean? For today's price. Like the guy was happy to do it. Yeah. It cost like $500 to ship that stuff. He had to give me like $2,600. Which is stressful
in itself, because if they break it, if they lose it.
I packaged that stuff up. Like, I should have charged $3,000 for the amount of time I put into packaging those things. But anyway, it was it was one of those like home run type scenarios that was like a godsend for sure.
Dude, and the pictures of that car in the junkyard.
Oh yeah.
I can't stress enough how like
dilapidated that car was.
Prehistoric that place looks.
Yep. I tried to come back the next spring to get the manifold because it was all turbo stuff.
Yeah.
And the car was gone, which means they probably crushed it.
Dude,
I tried buying the car. They wouldn't sell me the car. I'm like, listen, I was trying to. Then I would have to borrow some money at that point because I didn't have the money. But I was like, sell me the car. They're like, no, we don't do that here. I'm like, so what do? You wait till someone hasn't bought stuff off it for a while, and then you just crush it? Like, just sell me the car.
Dude, in Virginia, you actually can't buy a car out of a junkyard if it's already been, if the title's been, I don't know what the correct word would be, not confiscated, but if the title's been accepted by a junkyard in Virginia, it's done.
It's no longer
end of its life.
Yeah.
And dude, the E30 that I got my BBS kit off of, it sounds stupid, but I had some weird sentimental attachment to that car just because I had found papers in the glove box with the owner. I found the owner of the car. For some reason, I never contacted them because I wanted to know why they had that kit. It was on Zenders. It was on Zender wheels.
Yeah.
It had, dude. So this is a black coupe, and the hole from the C pillar up to the A pillar line on the roof was vinyl. And at first I thought it was a bar, E30 bar with the the drop top open air.
Yeah,
that's what I thought it was at first. But it was just vinyl all over the roof, and I was like, man, what the hell? So that was weird.
Yeah,
the fact that it has that kit was weird.
Right. Was it a Euro car?
I don't know. Because dude, the weird thing is, I'm gonna say yes.
It would be even weirder if it was a US spec car with a Euro BBS kit on it.
Because my father's from Germany, born and raised, so he speaks very fluent German, and he called BBS in Germany, like their headquarters, because we wanted to find out as much as we could about this kit. Only sold them in Europe.
Yep.
Super freaking weird. Like, why is this here? Okay. They don't know how many. He couldn't give us like an exact number, but he said for the version 1 kit that we have, at least less than 100.
Wow.
And I was like, bruh.
Wow.
Right? So there's that. He sent us all of the original technical information as far as like when they fitted the body kit to an E30 and they put it in a wind tunnel. Yeah. They have actual percentages for...
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, for the amount of downforce or drag from the rear bumper.
How functional that kit actually was. Right.
And...
Because you got to remember, they were designing that in the heyday of the DTM days.
Yeah, literally.
Those were literally the golden years.
Yeah, and the car
DTM.
was in 84 as well.
Yep.
Which I'm pretty sure was first year for E30.
That sounds right.
So everything, all about this is just so weird, right?
Yep.
And the inspection sticker on it was dead from like 2009.
Yeah.
So this thing had been sitting, and it's like, I just so happened to find this thing. I got this kit. It's cheap. Like, I don't know. All of these things just added up.
$140. That's just
$140.
That's unbelievable.
Whole kit, whole entire.
Unbelievable.
And I forgot I had made a couple trips back because there was actually like a bumper support that goes behind the bumper covers.
Yep.
Stamped BBS.
Wow.
Fiberglass, like tan bumper support.
Yep.
BBS brackets. All these things that I wasn't really aware of when I first pulled the bumper covers off until we started like test fitted on the cars.
The brackets themselves were BBS?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I ended up having to make new ones anyways because we had to suck the bumper in.
Did you keep those brackets?
They got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
They have to be. I know they are. My dad was
That's
on track
cool.
of all that. But
see, we become... And I don't know about your dad, but like my dad, who's been in the automotive industry his whole life, he's built muscle cars and hot rods and stuff, and he owned a business in the automotive field. Like he's got storage containers, like sea containers, filled with parts that like they now at like 65 years old, he's like, oh, I'm keeping all this junk, I'm gonna sell it all. Yeah. But like the thing is it all
meant something.
Like that's what we are becoming, those people.
Yeah.
Like I am in a way. Like my shed was filled with all those rare. I mean, I've got E12 taillights for no reason. I had an E12 and I had the extra taillights, and I've got E12 taillights. I've got a
E30 base model center console and window cranks for a car I don't have.
Right. Yeah.
Whenever I get my dream bronze E30 sedan, I'm gonna put that center console, which is out of that BBS car.
Right. Yeah, it's I mean, we all have those types of stories.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got a rear bumper for a 1960 Mercedes heck flossy, like my Fintail. Like it's just and sooner or later that stuff is worth a ton of money, and if not, has the sentimental value to it.
Yeah, and back to that sentimental of that car. I would go back because at that point in time I was going to the junkyard like once a week just because I work real close to it and it's $2 to go in. And at that point, for some reason, there's a huge influx of E36s, so I was always just going in there just to see if I could find something.
Right.
You know,
you never know when you're gonna find like some rare interior or some rare.
So
exactly.
So I'm going back every week and I would just walk by the car. I'm like, double checking, is there anything I missed off this car?
Yeah.
And I'm
you go home, do some research. Like, I better check to see if it has that.
Yeah. It had a cami wing on it as well, like the foam.
Carmine?
Texture, however you say it. And my buddy Joey, I'm pretty sure he ended up buying it. And
that's good because that stuff's kind of rare.
Because I had no interest at that point. I was like, because it was foam, the foam texture, but
that's what my E23 heck spoiler was.
But it was dry. It wasn't in good shape. So
like if you bend it, it like cracks.
In my head, I was like, I already scored. I'm not worried about this wing. I'm not going to run it anyways. So I'm pretty sure he took it and sold it. But anyways, I would go back and just double check. Is there anything I didn't see? And then all of a sudden, went back one day and it's gone. And I was really upset because I'm like, damn. But it also like, I don't know how to explain it. It kind of like flashed my brain to the point where like, if I didn't take all those parts off, it would have got crushed.
Absolutely.
Or some shithead kid would have walked through not knowing what the bumper or the car is.
Yep.
And, like take a jack handle and just hit it because he's in the junkyard. And throw an alternator through the window because he's in the junkyard. So, like, it was almost kind of like a what if scenario that was replaying in my head the entire time. I was like, man, what if I didn't do that? What if I didn't take that kit and I watched that kit get crushed?
Same deal with the E23, I mean, and think of all the cars that are getting crushed that we haven't found.
Oh my God, I hate thinking about it.
Yep. I can only imagine. Yeah, I mean,
but the people that find this stuff
are saving it and putting it back into circulation.
Yes, dude.
Like my car lives on with the BBS kit. In the Racing Dynamics kit I sold, the guy was putting it on an E23 he had.
Likely, if you didn't find that,
gone. for sure.
Absolutely out of this world.
Yeah, because I wanted to save the turbo manifold and the turbo itself because that could get rebuilt. All that stuff was 745 specific.
Yeah.
They didn't make a ton of those cars.
Yeah.
And now the car's gone and nobody probably got that.
You got the important stuff, you know?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Those stories are so cool. And I'm happy to have a couple of my own.
Yeah.
You know, like,
actually, I have one more. Dude, this was like a crazy height of the junkyard finds that month that we found all this stuff. A week prior to that E30, Joey was with me, and I was taking like an interior piece out of an E46 for my wagon, and he's just like walking around like in the same area that I was at, and he goes, "Yo, what the hell is this?" And it's a lime green Isuzu something.
Recently?
This was a week before we found the E30.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he goes, "Look inside of that thing. Mesh headrest Recaros."
Wow.
Mesh headrest Recaro.
The fishnets.
With lime green fishnets and a lime green Recaro logo on it. And I'm like, what? And I'm like,
nuts.
That's crazy. And then I go back into the car to take.
Was it like an Impulse or something?
It was. I don't know.
An Isuzu Impulse?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Sports car from
it was
the
a
80s?
two-door.
Yeah, it was an Impulse.
And it had a sticker on it. It said the suspension was designed by Lotus. That was one thing.
It was an Impulse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an Isuzu Impulse.
So he ended up going back like the day after and took the seats out. And this is actually a funny story. He bought the seats for $50 fucking. $50.
Oh man.
Mesh headrest Recars. Yeah. Granted, the bolsters were a little beat up.
Still,
but still, mesh headrest Recars, and it's all there, right?
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah.
Buys them, and at that point in time, he was trying to buy another E30, and he was going to put them in that.
Right.
Didn't buy one, so he's like, screw it. Sold them, right?
Right.
Some dude like 30 minutes north. He gets the Mark I, his Rabbit.
Doesn't have the seats.
Doesn't have seats. He goes, damn, I wonder if he still got those seats. Tries to call him. Dude doesn't answer.
Yeah.
Joey pulls up to this dude's shop and walks in his door, and he's like, "Hey, I've been trying to call you. Do you still have those seats that I sold you like 2 years ago?" He's like, "Yeah." Points over there. Still look exactly the same, covered in cobwebs, bolsters all ripped up. He goes, "I sold them to you for $50." He's like, "I'll give you $50 for them." Sold it right back to Joey.
Oh, wow.
Sold it right back to Joey.
Amazing.
And then Joey ended up getting him reupholstered for the Mark I. And he got him done in a tweed inlay with peanut butter outside.
That's awesome.
And matching rear seat as well.
Yep.
Ended up, of course, selling those too. But
oh, he did?
Yeah.
Does he still have the car, or does he still have the cool car?
He still has the car. But he sold them up to a dude up in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And he's got him in his Mark I as well now.
But he just sold the E76s too, didn't he? Yeah, that's too bad. As a fellow E76 owner, I miss mine too.
Bro, and all the parts were brand new, minus the face. It was brand new lip, hardware, barrels, and gaskets.
Yeah, I did new.
I did amazing.
Yeah, I did new gaskets, lips, and hardware on mine. I did new hardware on mine too.
By the way, I think probably the easiest wheels I've ever assembled.
We were talking about that on Instagram Live the other night.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing is that the back of the face has a plastic insert with metal threads, so you don't have to put a nut on the backside.
No
you just thread the bolt right into it.
Yep.
Dude, that makes life so much easier. And there's like 20 bolts per wheel.
Yep. And
it took me no time to build those.
No Loctite. Like I even talked to Robert from Move Technic, and I'm like, so what's the deal with like any sort of like thread, whatever? And he's like, no. He goes, no nuts. And he gave me the torque specs because he's a BBS Motorsport nerd, and those wheels. Putting those wheels together with those O-ring gaskets are so you can rebuild them in the pits while your car's out on the track. Yeah. And then you don't have to wait for sealant to set up. You've got these dual O-rings. Yeah. That was the first time I'd ever messed with like true.
That was nerve-wracking when I did that. Because I was like, okay, I mean, this is all going in right. But I'm like, is that really it?
Dude, one wheel, I reused my O-rings. I'd ordered new O-rings, but then I realized that there were two in there. Yeah. So there was one on each side. And I had like the old ones for one wheel, and they weren't round anymore. Mm-hmm. So I was like trying to like silicone, use a little dab of silicone here, to keep it in this little channel in the groove. I put that wheel together and kept an eye on that one. I'm like, that one's probably gonna leak, but it didn't leak.
Dude,
like,
it's good. Insane. It really is, because that was the first time I'd ever seen a design like that.
Yeah,
and I'm like, really? That's really smart.
Yeah, it is.
And it's immediate.
I mean, it's more.
You don't have to wait.
It's more parts and more like hardware.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to mess with sealant or anything.
Yeah.
You build the wheel, you put a tire on it, and you drive on it.
I dropped those wheels and tires off with my tire guy, and I told him straight up. I was like, "Hey, I just built these. They're all brand new parts from BBS." He's like an old Porsche head. He's got a bunch of 944s out front of his house. So he knows what's good. So I told him, I was like, "These are all brand new BBS parts." But I was like, I told him about the gasket, and I was like, you know, I mean, I've been building wheels for a while, and I was like, I think I put them together right, but I was like, just keep an eye. I was like, you put the tires on there, put the air in, and I was like, let it sit for a couple hours, and then just double check before you give them back to me, because I was like, I have no idea if I did this right, and sure enough, they're good. And
yeah, it's such a cool design,
dude. Beautiful, super light. Oh my god,
magnesium centers,
magnesium face.
Yeah,
dude. Such a flex.
And those lips are super light, but they give it that aggressive fold for strength and rigidity, so they can be that light. It's insane.
Pain in the ass to clean in there, though.
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. I didn't even bother. Yeah. There were new lips, so I don't need to get in there.
Yeah.
And my understanding is when they came from BBS of America, I thought I was gonna have to polish them, but those things came mirrored.
Speaking of, I made a video assembling those wheels. I had to wet sand and polish brand new lips from BBS.
See, that's what I'd heard.
Dull.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They were going to be dull. So I was ready.
Pissed.
I'm like, whatever. I'd heard that. I'm like, they're going to come. You're going to have to polish them. I'm like, all right.
I mean, I don't have to go crazy. I did like 3,000 grit of polish. But...
Yeah, I only got 2. I was rebuilding my rears. They went on my Lada, so I needed to I went a little wider or something, or narrower. And and they showed up. And they were mirror. I'm like, whoa, how about that? Put some polishing compound on them anyway, just to make myself feel good.
Yeah. Make it feel like you did something.
But my 3.5 inch BBS Motorsport lips are with me, and I made that Governor's Club sign out of them.
I'm stoked to see that.
I'm excited about it. But
damn, we got Riverside.
Yeah, I
forgot that's why we're here.
Speaking of which, we're 2 hours in, and it's 12:30 in the morning. So we should probably wrap this thing up. We can get some bed and get to sleep. Yeah, get some sleep. Get some coffee in the morning.
I honestly forgot we're in Tennessee at Riverside right now.
Well, look right behind you. We got Chattanooga behind us.
Look at, that moon hasn't moved.
You can't see it in frame on the camera, unfortunately.
There's a moon up there.
Big one.
Big one. Not Photoshop.
Yeah. Dude, tomorrow morning we're gonna get some coffee. We're gonna have the TGC meet.
You're gonna get some coffee.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're 14 and a half. What are you gonna do?
Dog.
Yo, listen, you can't tell me I'm 60 years old. I lived with the dinosaurs and expect me to not tell you that you still wear diapers.
John, listen here, buddy.
What's up?
What's up, he says. Coffee smells
so good.
Oh my god.
Let's go. See, I told you, son.
Bro,
listen,
my parents are huge espresso drinkers.
Listen, when I was 14, like you, I loved the smell of coffee.
It's coming out now. We're at the end of the podcast. Everything that's built up.
Don't get me going.
Let's go.
Don't get me going.
Fire it up.
All right, here we go.
Let's hear it, buddy.
So I've always loved the smell of coffee too, right?
Yeah.
And every now and then I'd try a sip of my grandmother's or my mom's or my dad's coffee, and they all drink their coffees pretty stiff, almost black, right? And it smells amazing. I agree. And you take that sip and you're like,
and it's
what on earth is this garbage,
bro?
Right? So I'm 36 now. I didn't start drinking coffee until 63. I was like...
He's dyslexic. 36, yeah, right. Look at the pause. He's ready to unleash on me. Look.
I didn't start drinking coffee until I was like 28. So I got a late start, right? Yeah. But I started drinking it with cream and sugar. And I'd heard people ordering absurd amounts of cream and sugar in their coffee. And I'm like, all right, I'm not that bad. Because I didn't get into coffee because I thought putting tons of cream and sugar in it was sacrilege or So, I got a late start though. I got a mega late start. I didn't start drinking coffee until I was almost 30 years old. And to be honest, the caffeine doesn't do anything for me. Doesn't wake me up. I could drink a cup of coffee right now and sleep like a baby, no problems. So it's a social beverage for me. Weird. It's a habitual beverage now. I just get up, I have a coffee in the morning, I have one in the afternoon.
It's a habit.
I think it's a bit of an addiction now. Not really. I can stop when I want.
He says, not really. The past 5 vlogs, well, it's 3 o'clock. We got to go get Dunkin'.
You're watching them. Thank you, my friend.
I like every video.
I appreciate it, man.
I know the
Thank
hustle.
You, son. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do. I think about that, too. I'm like, I got to stop saying that. But everyone's going to know. They're going to think
literally
it's
ratting
3 o'clock.
Himself out.
It's time to get a coffee.
I love it.
3 o'clock, man. We got 8. We got 10. 8 a.m., 10 a.m., unless I'm up real early, but it's usually 8 a.m., 10 a.m., sometimes 2 before noon, 3 o'clock. And then if I'm working late, I'll pour a cup at like 7 p.m. maybe.
But he's not addicted.
I'm not. But if I don't have my morning coffee, I've got a migraine by 1 p.m.
Really?
So I'm like, ooh, I think we might be hooked now.
That's like people that drink soda all the time.
I used to, man. Man, I used to. Here's the deal. I was a professional athlete for almost 8 years, BMX, and I was drinking nothing but soda, Pepsi. Yeah. I would drink 1 liter to 2 liters of Pepsi a day. And I somehow made it out of my 20s, 1, alive, and 2, without diabetes. Unreal.
Yeah, dude.
So I somehow got out of it.
Good thing you stopped that.
And 3, not obese.
Oh, the whole basis of this conversation. I literally drink water, and then every now and then I have an orange juice.
Dude, yeah, see that's why you're healthy, man.
Bro, I mean,
you got to keep that water in you.
Bro, I eat like shit.
Yeah, when we stopped in Fredericksburg,
I'm conscious of the fact that I eat like shit. You know what I mean? Like,
you took us to that pizza joint in Fredericksburg with those 64-inch pizzas.
60.
Oh my gosh,
them 64-inch.
Dude, hogs. You were showing us that they made the front door wider than a normal man door, so they could fit their pizza box out that door.
So like,
and they had to get a code from the city in order to put a door that big in their doorway.
Dude,
that's amazing.
Like, I eat like shit. But I'm conscious.
Wait, what were you saying? What were you saying that you eat every day at work? A hot dog?
Okay, bro. Look,
every day at lunch?
I don't eat a hot dog every day. Listen.
You were telling us you eat two hot dogs every day at lunch.
Look.
That's not.
Listen.
You ain't gonna live to see 20.
At 20, what year was that? 2019. 2019. All right, that was the end of
dark
summer
times.
2019. Okay, my boss, he had whipped the grill out at work. Okay, he goes, damn, we could make lunch here every day. I said, So I went out, I bought hamburger patties and hot dogs. What did I make first? Hot dog. Did it slap? Of course.
Of course.
Dude, did I make a cheeseburger? Hell yeah, I made a cheeseburger. Yeah. Was it good? It's all right.
Hot dog took the cake?
Bro.
Were they like legit hot dogs, or were they like
no? They were good hot
Oscar
dogs.
Mayer wiener.
Bro,
like
no, no homo. Those were some good hot dogs, bro. The glizzies, dude. Oh my god!
But I just remember we were eating pizza, and you're like,
yeah,
bro,
I told y'all.
I don't know how that even came up in conversation. We're eating pizza, and you're like, bro, I eat hot dogs for lunch every day, and we're like, what?
And they're like, wait, what? They're like 2 every day, and I'm like, listen. But that was because, bro, he had whipped the grill out.
Yeah, I get it.
And we had bought this massive pack of glizzies, and I'm like, I'm pretty bomb at making these glizzies, dude. And
what do you put on your hot dog?
You're gonna laugh at me, bro. I'm so annoying. I'm so simple.
I'm pretty stock myself.
Stock,
dude.
Love the terminology.
Ketchup with a little bit of mustard, just a hint of mustard. That's it. That's it. That's all it goes on my hot dog. But if we're getting crazy with like chili and cheese and all that sort of stuff, we'll go there.
Looks good.
It tastes all right.
It's like coffee.
You got to be close to home though, because you going in that bathroom.
Yeah. No. So I do. All right. I take my bun. I put my bun on the grill.
Yep. You can butter it first a little bit. A little bit of butter. Put it on the grill. You gotta try it.
Never thought.
Dude, it gives that golden brown.
Like
oh yeah, a little bit. Don't go overboard. It's a little bit of butter.
Dripping with butter.
I'm telling you.
I'll let that joint get crispy.
Yep.
You know? Toss that glizzy around a couple times.
What's the glizzy?
The hot dog. The glizzy.
I gotta know what the glizzy is here.
He's old, folks.
All right.
So we're tossing that hoe around. Okay, she's getting a little crispy. The juices are
couple
starting
relief
to come
slits
out.
in it, so
relief
she can breathe.
Slits so you can really see it. You know.
Right. Yep.
And you take that bun, you pick it up, it's crispy.
And you pick the dog up with the bun?
No. All right, listen. I'm picking the bun up. He's jumping ahead. You pick that bun up, and it's like flaky a little bit because it's so crispy.
Crispy on the outside?
And at this point, that section of your brain is going, holy shit, this is about to be the best hot dog ever.
Oh, I know the feeling.
And you pick that goddamn hot dog up, okay? You get your ketchup. This is my procedure, okay?
All right.
Ketchup.
Before the dog goes in.
No.
Or is the dog in? This is important now.
The dog is in.
Because some people put the condiments on and then the dog, right? Some people, I don't. I'm just saying some people.
Never in my life.
You've never heard that.
No.
They'll pull a line of ketchup down in the ditch.
Northerners are crazy.
Yo, I've had it made like that, and it
sounds smart because I kind of do that with my cheeseburgers.
Cool. Think of it this way, right? Say it's a big hot dog, right? And you can't get the whole top to bottom in one bite, so you're biting hot dog, a little bit of bun with your condiments, and then what's the next bite? A little bit of hot dog, all the bottom of the bun, right? So you get some condiments on the bottom of that.
Right.
So now you can almost eat it like straight up and down without it making a mess all over your mustache.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
If I'm eating a hot dog in public,
How do you eat the hot dog?
Like this.
Straight up and down or sideways?
So nobody can see.
Straight up and down or sideways?
I
eat it sideways.
I think it's something like that.
You hold it from the top?
From the top. Bro, I'm weird. Yo, if I have a cup with a straw in it, I hold
hand
it
on top. Hand on top. I get it.
Easy.
Yeah, but okay.
But when I had the hot dog, straw the hot dog's like that, holding it like this.
Yeah, it's kind of weird though, because your hand can
articulate.
Kind of weird though.
You don't. That's kind of weird though. Why are you acting sus?
Here's the thing. Like, anyone listening can't see what you just did, but when you hold it from the top, right, and you bring it in like a crane, here it comes, beep beep beep, and then your head goes, hurt, and then you bite it. You don't need to cock the neck. You can just go hurt with the wrist and then eat it with leisure. What are you doing?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Bro, that's like when I take a sip of my water bottle. Look.
Dude, I can't handle that. Watch. Dude, when I'm talking to you, I can't. When I'm talking to you,
that, bro.
Dude, yeah, it's not cool, dude. It's when I'm talking to you, you go like this. You're looking at me, and I'm talking, and then you look off into space, and you go. And I'm like, and I'm trying to continue talking and keep my composure as if I didn't just see that. And I'm like, bro, everything's cool.
Bro,
he's still listening. Instead, I'm like, I've totally lost him. Because he's going, and I'm like, am I supposed to stop and acknowledge what you're doing?
Because look, if I drink it like
trust
this,
me, he's got some swag.
Look, if I drink it like this, look how much effort I have to go. I gotta like.
Yeah, but you get that bar on top.
Do you see my neck, bro? So if I'm talking to you and I'm thirsty,
I can't even do this.
And I have to, and then I'm looking at the ceiling. So now you're talking to me.
How long did that take? That took 0.2 seconds.
But bro, look, talk to me right now.
Yeah, I can't when you do this.
Bro, I don't even have to break eye contact.
You're the only person in the world that does that.
It's like a hamster bottle, bro. I'm an asshole. Look, that joint empty too.
It's all I can think of is like you're a baby with a sippy cup.
I am a baby, bro. Bro. Oh my God, bro.
I am a baby, bro.
I am a baby, bro. I'm 22.
I don't know how you have that mustache.
Oh my God.
First of all, I need to apologize for not having mine on this trip.
I know, I'm sorry. I know. I brought my my razor if you want to, change that.
Yeah. Corey grew his back out.
It's okay. Me and Corey are going to get a picture together.
I grew one for the first time in 2 years. It'd been 2018 Worthersy trip was the last time I had a mustache.
Yeah, I remember.
And I grew it back. And
Thickums.
It was a big one. Yeah. I had it for Eurotripper. I came home and I'm like, my birthday, I'm about to turn 36. I'm shaving that thing. I'm going to look like 28 again. So I did it.
Couldn't leave the stash, bro.
No, I couldn't. No. I have ADD with my facial hair.
Let me know why.
Because I wanted to look young again.
He trying to get the honeys.
Nah, I'm not trying.
Not trying.
Well, I mean, I guess that could be taken two ways.
He walks outside and they throwing themselves at him. Not trying. You heard him. I'm not trying, bro. So you're telling me if you shave that hog off your chin, that ladies are just going to stop throwing themselves at you? Bro. John Ludwig, the man of many... Bro.
I've got...
Bro, there's veins popping out of his head right now.
I'm dying. I mean, okay. So to be honest, there are a certain type of girl that will be way into the mustache, as I'm sure you get, since you yourself,
bro, I don't get
have
shit.
One.
I just got a six stash. Bro.
There's some
for
girls,
the culture.
I get that. There's some girls that like the mustache, some girls that don't. So you gotta wade through the.
John's like, I don't have an issue.
Oh my gosh, I didn't mean for it to sound like that, but I mean
humble.
Oh my gosh,
love this man.
Oh man,
love this man.
Oh, dude, let's wrap this up and go to bed.
I apologize.
Don't apologize, dude.
Whoever's listening to this, bro, I want a baseline of this podcast. We started out Miata, Fable.
Oh, Fable! Thank God for Fable.
Minivans,
Siennas
for 30 minutes.
I don't even know where we went from there.
Then it just went into straight BMW junkyard.
Oh, junkyard. That's where it went.
To glizzies.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Facial hair. He's acting like he doesn't know what a glizzy is.
To picking women up.
To picking honeys.
Young honeys.
Picking honeys. You mean having them thrown at you because you're John Ludwig. Jeez.
It's not that. It's not like
he goes,
that.
Yeah, you see these bruises? I know.
It's not that. It's definitely not that.
But no, I'm stupid hyped that we finally did this.
Yeah, dude.
We were supposed to do this at HO in the back of the Century.
We should still.
Which, honestly, now that I'm thinking back, I don't even think it would have been this good because it's been
it would have been short.
Something hours.
Yeah, it would have been short. I wanted to do a full
length.
Yeah, I knew we'd be able to.
I wish we lived closer because we could all three do this.
Oh, absolutely,
dude. Week, bro.
Trust me, I'd want
to. I can talk for hours. I love talking,
dude. We did. I mean, that Instagram Live we did. Normally Instagram Live only gives you an hour limit, right?
And it doesn't give you any.
We went for like 2.5 hours talking about H2O stories, and there were people. There were people that were messaging me for days after that, being like, "Bro, I watched you and Aidan on Instagram Live. It was amazing." I told you we should do like we should figure out some sort of like weekly or monthly. Weekly would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Some sort of we just hang out and chat.
Yeah, dude.
Just talk about whatever.
I'm so down with
talk about your glizzies or.
I'd rather not go into any more depth about the glizzies, but no, I had somebody message me after our live. Not even really a car person. They were like, "Yo, I just want to let you know I watched that entire video, the entire live." And
that's awesome.
It was so interesting, and they're not even like
in the cars. That's
anymore,
awesome.
Which is crazy to think about because all we're talking about is I guess we're talking about the experience.
Yeah, and people can relate to that.
The weather and you know,
but I mean that's flattering because it means that.
This can expand.
It means that you can articulate your words to the point where someone who may not be interested in the subject you're talking about is interested in listening to you talk about it, you know? Which is what that's the goal of podcasting anyway. The whole point of this was to hang out with my friends, laugh, and like tell stories and have people kind of relate to it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's been awesome.
Dude, the one you did about the Austria trip, bro. I'm at work. I got hair standing on the back of my neck at work. I'm like,
heck yeah, dude. I'm glad that I had that type of effect.
When you were explaining the Mercedes, I don't remember which one that you saw at the museum.
Oh my gosh, the 300 SLR.
I think, yeah.
Yep.
And there was, it was something, one of whatever.
One of two ever built.
Yeah, I was like.
Dude went deaf driving to the Mercedes factory every day with it.
Oh my God, dude.
They said they could hear him from like 5 miles away on the Autobahn on his way in.
Sick.
1955 went deaf driving that car.
I love that
amazing.
So much.
And we saw that car in person. Pretty wild. He's the dude who invented the Gullwing 300 SL. Really? And the SLR was his personal car. And they clocked that car at like 165 miles an hour in 1955 on the Autobahn.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's fast by today's
That's
standards.
unbelievably fast. In 1955,
that thing was probably shaking its ass off.
In a straight six, in a straight 6-cylinder that was laid over at a 45-degree angle so they could get the hood line low enough in that car for its wind dynamics. Oh yeah. We're going into a whole second episode podcast right now.
Jesus Christ, we need to end this. Dude, we could literally go for days. Dude, I love talking.
Plug what you got. What's going on? Where can people find you? The YouTube, the Instagram?
Honestly, dude, the only thing I want to plug is my YouTube. I want to push my YouTube.
Dude, your YouTube's popping off right now. Listen, for someone I've been doing the YouTube thing for like 2 years. I'd say, and you can probably agree to this.
About same here.
Well, the last month is when I've really started focusing on it. Same. I've done some episodes and stuff over the last 2 years. We did our TGC cross country trip, and I documented all that. But I feel like the last month I've really gone in hard.
Like I said, it was astonishing to see you being up to your neck in tasks that you have to do. And then still uploading almost every sinle day with a good video. They're not just like,
I appreciate that, man. I mean, and I want to talk more about you in closing, but that means a lot to me because when you're doing it and you're at the ground level. I mean, I only got like a few thousand subscribers, so it's not like it's a
you feel
business.
like you don't get the
you're throwing this out into the nebulous with nothing coming back. type deal.
Yeah.
So you're putting in all this work because it is a ton of work.
That's a shit.
It makes replacing a starter on a car that would take an hour take 6 hours
because you have to make it look interesting.
Yes,
you have to make it.
So anyway, I'm just like, I'm appreciative of your comment because it helps motivate me to continue doing it.
Yeah,
Where you can like, you understand because you do it yourself. Where you're like, dude, that's a lot of work when you're buried in work already to like get a video out.
Well,
so
especially because I'm sure you're like me. When you're working on something, you just put in work,
dude.
You enjoy the work, but you want to get it done
to an extent. Like I'm learning to love the process more. I feel like every year I get older, I love the process a little bit more. But I've got a short fuse when it comes to like projects that are fighting you.
Yeah,
and I'm like, there's plenty of stuff I did that I could have filmed for some YouTube episodes that I didn't have the patience for. And I'm like, there's no way I can.
You have to put more energy towards what you're working on than trying to divide that to let me film this too.
Exactly, and have an attitude that isn't what your attitude actually is.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
exactly. Because you don't want people to be watching it if you're pissed off.
Exactly, and you're not even motivated to film. So but your YouTube, how can people find you on YouTube?
It's just Aidan Templin.
Aidan.
Aidan Templin. Yeah, I don't do vlogs or anything. I literally
you don't even talk in your videos.
I don't, and it's just dude. It's so funny though,
but it's incredibly rewarding to watch your videos because you're always detailing something, and something starts off dirty or gross and ends. It's rewarding to watch it, even though you're not putting the work.
Yeah. It's just there's too many I shouldn't say too many. There's enough videos out there that are tutorials, vlogs of that type of category that we're in,
Yep.
And the people that are already doing it, you, Jimmy, Tommy, everybody.
Those boys are like,
even though they're on different levels, y'all are still, the quality's still the same.
Right.
Regardless, excluding subscriber and views.
Right.
The quality is still the same.
We're in the shop, we're doing this.
I religiously watch you
just
as much as I watch Jimmy or Tommy.
That means a lot,
man. So there's that, but trying to do something different on YouTube is hard.
Mega hard, dude.
Without being an idiot trying to just get views.
To try to start something new.
Yeah. So like with my stuff, I've been doing that before I even had YouTube. I would just take time lapses of me doing whatever, working on something, cleaning on something, just whatever, washing a car, whatever, just to put maybe a 30-second clip on Instagram, just because it was always fun, dude.
Yep.
And then I refinished my set of Style 5s, and that was my first video, and I was like, screw it, I'll just do it. And it's like 6 minutes long, I think, and that's what started it. And I don't know, I just kind of went from there. And like you said last month, how you got like real serious, the beginning of this year is when I finally got like serious. I was like, okay, I really like sat back and looked. I was like, all right, I've got the drive to do this. It is really cool to be able to look back at your own work later on.
Yep, it's an archive.
Yeah, and I've got enough people that are up my ass telling me to do
more, right.
So why don't I do it? Yep. And that's another thing. I'm not trying to blow up over it. I'm not trying to be the next Jimmy Oaks or anything. You know what I mean? Like, my end goal, honestly, for this is to just do a video ideally a video every week.
Yeah,
would be simple.
That's kind of what I'm aiming
for. Or like week and a half.
Yep.
And I just want to be able to pay my shop rent whenever I get a shop. That's all I want to do.
And that's my goal.
Yeah, and that plan that I keep telling everybody, like, oh yeah, that's how it starts out, and then you're gonna want to pay for your mortgage and this and that.
And if it happens,
it happens. Then, but that's not where I'm going for. You know what I mean? And back to the thing where I don't talk. It's absolutely hilarious because when I was in Jimmy's vlog, I remember reading a comment and somebody said, "Yo, Aidan in Jimmy's vlogs compared to Aidan in his own videos." Two completely different people.
Right.
And it's so funny because I talk my ass off.
Yeah.
I sing my ass off. Like...
Yeah, if anyone follows you on Instagram, they know that what they see in the YouTube video is like
and
totally
different.
That's
another thing, because people always tell me to vlog, and I'm like, dude, watch my stories. Like, that's enough. Like,
yeah.
I can't imagine vlogging. That's not natural for me.
Yeah.
What's natural
it's
for
not
me
natural for me, man. It's not.
I mean, make it look pretty damn natural.
Well, I appreciate it. But I've told Corey, I've told a lot of friends, I knew I wanted to start a podcast because, like, just like you, a lot of my friends were like, dude, because this is what happened. We'd be in parking lots, at car meets, at car shows, just a parking lot with a bunch of car people showed up and hung out. And we're standing in a circle, and I'm telling road trip war stories or something.
Hours.
Yeah, and I
love
same
it.
deal. I love talking. I love articulating stories. And everyone was like, you should start a podcast. You should start a YouTube channel. You should start a YouTube channel and talk about your projects.
People keep telling me to start a podcast, and I was like, nah. I was like, I'm going to be on John's, and you can just listen to that. I'm like, nah.
But that's basically along the same wavelength of what you're talking about. That's where, that's the only reason why I'm doing this. But like, it didn't come natural to me. I started doing the commentary Instagram stories simply to learn how to articulate myself on the fly, to be good at it by the time I started.
Not be permanent, because it expires.
But I used it as a practicing platform and proving grounds for the podcast and the YouTube channel, because I didn't want to start the podcast and YouTube channel and fumbling. Rough. Yeah. So I'm like, this doesn't come easy to me.
Which is hilarious you bring that up, because last night I think I just got done watching your last video, and then the next suggested video was the first video, and I was like, I'm going to watch that, because I'll do that every now and then, like with fresh YouTubers. I'm like, okay, like I've been watching them for a while. I want to go back to the first one to see like how they improved. And just like you said, you didn't start out fumbling. I watched that video last night.
The Lada one? Oh, really?
And I was like,
wow,
this is pretty damn good.
Thanks, man.
I was like,
I'm pretty sure the first thing I say in that first video is, all right, guys, man, I'm late to this whole YouTube game, but I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah. And it's literally, it's cherry, dude.
I appreciate that. Thanks, man. I mean, the content was there, though, because I'm talking about this really cool Soviet car that I imported from Europe.
Dude,
and
so
I feel like the content spoke for itself. Yeah. All I had to do was be the catalyst to, like, get it out there.
And that's another thing. People keep telling me, like, I've always said, I mean, this goes for everything, you know, quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't upload on YouTube for 3-4 months at a time, just because, like, and I'd be doing crazy jobs in between that span, but I don't to this day, I don't want to upload something that I'm doing just to put content out.
Yeah.
So another thing that people were putting to my face was like, hey, you've got a whole fleet of vehicles at your house that you can be doing work on.
Right. Lots of content already.
Why don't you film stuff on that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm becoming more aware of that, and that I can put more effort into the videography side of things. And, which is hilarious. I do everything on my phone.
That's what you're saying.
It's so good, because it's so it takes the stress out of it.
Right.
Because with the photography thing, you know, like, I've got thousands of dollars in photography equipment.
Right.
When I'm picking that thing up, I'm holding my breath when I'm taking a picture. I'm making sure everything's like perfect.
Right.
Where like with my phone, I'm making sure everything looks good, but it's like, it's so much easier because it's a phone, man.
Right.
I can edit on my phone. I can export on my phone. I can do everything on my phone.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. So I don't know where I'm going with all this, but
it's just putting the work in.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I'm trying to, you know, take on. That's the cool thing is, I don't know if you could say self-employed, because it's not really business. I'm just doing this on the side.
But it is. I mean, we know people who have gotten to the point where it is a business.
Yeah.
And one would argue, like, I went from video production when I was riding BMX. I filmed and produced some of my own BMX videos. I was into the cinematography of video production. And with the YouTube stuff, I've almost taken the other side of the coin, where I'm like, I'm just going to document what I'm doing and not worry about the cinematography. I always want to add the cinematography, but I feel like I've already, quote unquote, wasted enough time to film and document this, that I'm just going to put it out in its raw form in like a timeline that makes sense. And so the commentary makes sense, and just put it out as content. So although that is the opposite of what you're trying to do, it's the same idea, where you're like, all right, I'm just going to document what I'm doing so people can relate. Maybe they've got the same
look back.
Right, exactly.
And but with being self-employed on my end, which not really, but I'm able to be picky and choosy on what I'm doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like, if I'm filming a paint correction, it's going to be something sick. I don't want to film doing whatever, like a Touareg or something.
Right.
You know? Like, ooh, okay. Unless it's like absolutely demolished. You know
and your work is speaking for itself. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. So like I'm trying to seek out the really just grimy, messed up shit that I can work on and film.
Well, and look what happened. Jimmy got a car that really needed to kind of work.
Perfect, dude. That thing was perfect.
Brought you up there to do that.
I wish that thing had paint on it. Oh my god, I would have finessed that thing. But yeah. So
but that's awesome, man. Because you've got a pretty good base there already. And I was saying that I'm like, man, like. That's awesome. A good base. I mean, we're approaching like 30,000 subscribers on your YouTube.
Yeah, so that's the weird thing. So it's like I've got a big majority of those followers or subscribers were because of that one video I did of Justin's Civic. The mold Civic, which I'm absolutely to this day kicking myself on the ass because
million plus views on
4.5 million views. And my dumbass used Tupac and Souls of Mischief in it, so it's copyrighted. That would have been a $20,000 video.
Yeah.
But that was my third video. I'm like,
yeah.
At this point, I'm like, oh, I'll find something to film. And I was like, yo, Justin, let me clean this goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and to this day, my philosophy is I want to use dope music in my videos. I don't want you to be bored with vlog music. You know what I mean? So at that time, I'm like, well, I can't even make money off YouTube yet because you have that threshold you have to hit of like however many watch time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
whatever. Which I surpassed. Which I surpassed a long time ago, and I still haven't monetized my channel. Mm-hmm. So I've got friends who are like, what are you doing, dude? Make money doing that. And I'm like, I feel like my content hasn't gotten good enough to force people to watch commercials before they watch my junk video.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, man, this is just the way it goes. I'm like, you're right. Soon. But I still feel like, I'm like, I don't want to force people to watch an ad before they watch me, like, fix the fuel pump in my Corvair. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But so I had used the Tupac song and the Souls of Mischief, and it blew up. But that's what got me a majority of the subscribers.
Oh, absolutely.
But
the
thing with YouTube that is, I mean, Instagram as well, is algorithm.
Yep.
So if you're not posting all the time, those subscribers don't mean shit.
Right.
So like, even as of right now, as we're sitting here, my view to subscriber ratio doesn't make sense at all. Right, I'm not getting anything that I should, but that's completely fine because that's not really why I'm in it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. But it's there nonetheless.
The sole purpose of this is because I want to make cool videos that people genuinely enjoy because people really do enjoy it, and it means a lot.
And that'll shine through. That'll always shine through. You know what I mean?
And it's also, like I said 1,000 times, it's awesome to be able to look back and say, wow, like, I did all this, that, and the third, but so I mean, I hope it, gains a little bit more traction because I really am putting a lot of effort into it. And once I can hopefully get the shop space, it'll motivate me more because I'm not filming it in my parents' garage. I don't have distractions. I can really dig in and do like all the big projects I want to do on my personal.
That's where I'm at with my new shop. Man. You know what I mean? Like it's become fight or flight type scenario where like, holy cow, like I've like doubled my monthly expenditures by taking the shop space on. Now I gotta get in there and
but now you can do everything you want.
Exactly.
Whenever you want.
And you've got a hub where you can always film your content.
Yeah.
Like that's your space.
And it's clean. Yeah. You don't have like the biggest pet peeve with filming in my parents' garage is like there's so many trinkets on the walls. Which is sick because it's a hangout spot. But to film, I had to take this sign off the garage door that's been there for 10 years, and it says in big bright red letters, parking for Holland Blondes only. And this fucking sign is right where I work on these wheels.
Yep.
Taking this sick ass video, right? I'm like, oh hell yeah. Boom, parking for Holland Blondes. I'm like, God damn it. So I ended up like bitching at my dad enough to be like, yo, can I please just move this or take it down? But that's what I mean. So like being able to be in a shop space where everything's clean and how
it's your space.
I want it set up.
Yeah.
I think it'll just make the content flow so much better. And I can do longer term projects. Like I want to paint the bay in my Miata. I want to like I said, the reconstruction my frame rails and do like a whole underbody restoration, zinc plating, all that. It'll be so much easier in my own space with my own time limit.
Right.
Yeah, but we're ranting. But yeah, if you want to check out my YouTube, you can. It's Aidan Templin.
And it's the same on Instagram too, like Aidan
it's
MT.
Aidan MT, MT. And that's pretty much, I guess you could say, a behind the scenes of everything, because I do post like before and afters of when I'm working on stuff, and Yeah, I mean, I guess that's really all I gotta say. If you feel so inclined to view it,
I'm sure, man.
That'd be sick. If not, that's sick too. But
well, dude, this has been awesome. Yeah, this has been awesome.
I'm glad this happened. I don't even care that it's 1 a.m. This is sick.
And I see Corey fading fast over there.
Yeah, Corey's
I'm fading fast.
Corey's thinking about that concrete floor.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, this was awesome because you just rolled into town this evening, so I'm glad we got this out of the way.
Dude, this is like the first time anything's ever gone like according to plan. I literally texted John 2 days ago. Said, "Hey, I was thinking about this. Thinking forward. How about we do this podcast Thursday? Because I think every other day after today is."
I knew Thursday was gonna. I just hadn't gotten in touch with you before that. Yeah, I knew Thursday was gonna be the only day we could do it.
Only day, because there's no other time we could do it unless we stayed up till 3 a.m.
Yeah, well, we're
almost there, but you know what I mean.
But dude, thank you again for doing this. This has been awesome. This has been an awesome couple hours of hanging out and laughing.
Seriously, Corey's like, dude, shut up.
No, Corey's been laughing the whole time. He knows half of these stories too, so it's been amazing. Yeah, Aidan, thank you so much, man. I'm stoked to hang out. We'll get you some water in the morning while we're sipping on some coffee.
I'll be prepared.
Some
you
OJ,
gotta worry
maybe
about me. Some OJ, bro. OJ in the morning.
You drink your OJ out of a glass like you drink your water out of your little canteen there?
I actually have a BMW CCA cup at home. It's like a German shaped beer cup with a BMW CCA metal stamp badge on the front of it.
OJ.
Put the goddamn OJ in there. Oh my god. Oh my god. One last question.
What's the question?
How do you like your OJ as far as pulp is concerned?
Well, since apparently I'm ancient,
apparently
I've grown to like it. When I was a kid, no pulp. Don't get that pulp anywhere near me. Like, just I would almost rather drink Sunny D. I know. I'm just saying. Hey, hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
Hear me out. It turned into just no pulp, but now like I actually like pulp in my OJ.
Oh.
Yeah.
I fucks with the pulp.
I do. I like it.
I definitely fucks with
I grew into it. I didn't like it at first, but I like it now.
If it's like the carton OJ, I like some pulp. But if you're squeezing your own oranges,
get that orange in there.
Get that whole. I'm trying to chew that drink.
I'm trying to drink that orange.
I'm trying to freaking have chunks.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
But okay, on that note,
we out. We out.
We're out of here.
All right.
So y'all have a great night or day or evening or
commute to
work.
Whenever
y'all are listening to this, that's a long ass commute. I feel very sorry.
We got it, man. Dude, this is
for 3 hours.
2 hours and 45 minutes. This is a good one. This might be one of the longest ones. I've done a couple 245s, I think, but
oof. I apologize
everyone,
to anybody listening to this.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, for real.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Find us on Spotify, iTunes, John.Ludwick on Instagram, Ludwick's Garage. Thank you guys so much for listening. Aidan Templin, thanks for doing this, buddy.
For sure. Thank you for having me, G.
Bye-bye, my friend.
Peace out.
Skirt.